Oh, wait, there we go. Is it working? It's working. We're up on YouTube. Doesn't say anything on Twitch, though. Oh, well, at least I know YouTube's working.
We went live for like a split second on Twitch.
Really?
It came up saying we went live, but then...
Yeah, then the
went
offline
away.
went back on. Sorry, folks, I'm just trying a new output on XSplit Broadcaster.
Oh
We'll see
no,
what happens.
we're up on Twitch.
Okay, we're up on both. We're up and running. We're good. And...
I'm alive!
We have a Pidlap with us. It's a miracle.
What? Who?
I think you mean a piplap.
Paid.
Piplap, sorry.
What the hell's a pin lamp?
I don't even know either. Is it from Channel 1?
No, that's me having a stroke, apparently.
Stroke of luck or...
Got nobody watching, of course. Not yet, but it'll happen. Firefly doesn't know we're on. Oh, but we're live. And, we're live. We're live on Friday because I was gone on Wednesday. I was at the Hall of Justice. Monday.
Did you see our tweet?
Yes, I saw that. That was very good. Lost at the Hall of Justice, but I was not lost. So, it's all good that way. But, start the show. We're going to start the credits, and I'll come back, and I will tell you what I was doing at said Hall of Justice. And I really was at the Hall of Justice. We'll be right back.
The following podcast is intended for mature audiences. The opinions expressed do not reflect this station or any affiliated partners. Listener discretion is advised.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Geek EZ.
Just talking? Well, what's the show about? It's about nothing.
And we're tankless today because I'm guessing they got some serious storms out his way.
Because it wouldn't be a Geek EZ show without.
The
He's
weather
in the
knew.
process of being sucked away to Oz.
Sounds like.
The weather knew that we were going to have a show on Wednesday, so it waited.
That's true. It's really weird. That is really... I never thought about it. Did he have any storms on Wednesday? Do you know?
Nope.
That's odd. See? We are the Geek EZ. We bring the thunder!
Thunder, lightning, for the lightning.
Galileo. You know my phone will sing that?
It will?
Yes. She also sings... What was the other one she sang? It freaked me out. I sang the first... I typed in the first line, or I said the first line, and she finished the song.
Oh,
I can't
speaking of the
remember.
devil.
Oh my god! It's a live report from the land of Oz!
Didn't make it quite that far.
It's broke you?
Oh, look, Tank's here. We've just said no Tank today. Oh, well. Tank's here. I lied.
Well, you almost wasn't here. Had power flickering and everything. So I better shut
Lied
down.
like a great big liar.
Well, you are, but that's neither here nor there.
I pulled a Peters.
I was thinking it.
Phrasing.
Boom.
Exactly.
I thought that was
Giggity,
my
giggity, giggity. All right. But like I was saying.
I believe you had a prolapse of judgment.
Gotta be Quagmire.
Oh my god.
Prolapse of judgment.
Wow. And that is as far as that's going to go on this year, because that right there is pushing it, dude. Woof.
I feel like I missed something.
Oh, it's pushing it out.
We'll tell you later.
We'll tell you later. Woof. But hoi. Okay, so this week, why we did not have a show on Wednesday, I visited Cincinnati with my family. We went on a small staycation, I guess, because technically a 3-hour trip is still a staycation, right?
A 3-hour tour.
Kind of. I mean, we stayed within the state. We didn't go anywhere, really.
Yeah, but if you went, you were outside of home. So I'd count.
We were
that
outside of
vacation.
home. I mean, we stayed somewhere. I mean, we went and did things, theme parks and all that. But the big draw for me to go and do this was my wife was like, we can go see the Star Wars costume exhibit at the museum. Now, this was twofold for me because the Cincinnati Museum is also the basis for the Hall of Justice in almost every version that we've seen, starting with the Super Friends back in the 70s. And I will show you exactly what I mean. Hold on one second here. I'll bring up the picture.
Brace
And
for
I will
pictures
share
of
it.
aisle.
No, I'm not in it. I made sure none of the photos have me in it. My kids might show up in a couple of them, but that's neither here nor there.
But you're not in it, so it's already improved.
All right, see? It's on the live stream.
Well,
if you're watching the live
damn.
stream, there
Hey,
it is.
he's the one who always says that he has a face for radio.
I do. I have a face for radio. I don't even know if I have
Radio
a
show.
voice for radio. But
Are they doing work on it?
what? Yes, they are renovating it, which is why the only two exhibits open at the museum at this moment are the Star Wars exhibit and the Children's Museum. I was very upset because this museum, this building has been around, I think, since the 40s, 30s, or 40s. It is a gorgeous building. They have open areas like plexiglass, so you can see the renovations they're doing. And it's an old train station, so they kept the train station theme. It's gorgeous inside. I cannot wait till they finish it next year. I'm going to go back and I actually want to walk around this museum. But you can see that this
Bring a GoPro.
I will bring a GoPro. This is the Hall of Justice, and talking with the people that work there, they know all about the Hall of Justice thing, and they were like, "Oh, did you see us here? See it there?" I was like, "Yes," and I mean, I know the history of it. I was like, "Do you guys know you're on the Flash and Arrow?" And they're like, "What?" I was like, "They took a photograph of this museum and they used that as a basis for the matte painting of the Hall of Justice on the CW shows." And they're like, "No," and they went and looked it up while I was standing there on their computers, and like, "Oh my God, he's right!" And they added the towers and stuff on the side, and they have fountain and all that kind of stuff in the front. But I mean, it is the Hall of Justice, and it's really cool. Walking up to this, you're like, "Oh, it's the Hall of Justice." You can't see the doors and stuff because it really does just look like the front. So cool.
You know, when I'm looking at the wiki page for it, just to see the rest, because right now there's construction stuff in the way, so you really don't know what it quote unquote looks like normally. They actually, I like all of the kind of landscaping they did.
Oh yeah, it's really nice. And as you can see, yeah, I mean, a lot of construction. You can't get anywhere.
I think it was a railroad station, though.
Yes, it was a railroad station. Yes, train station. But on top of all that was and then there was the Star Wars exhibit. Now it's the power of the costume is the exhibit, and it's all the stuff from the Lucasfilm archives dating back to 1975 with the original trilogy costumes and props and stuff like that, and how iconic these things have become and how timeless some of them really are when you go through. And there's a whole lot of verbiage and things on the walls and stuff you can read, original artwork from the production designers all the way back to the 70s, and the influences what they went with, and Japan and the Nazis and I was amazed at some of the stuff I didn't even know. I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. I had no idea they were going to like Africa and stuff to get some of their ideas for textures and patterns and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, it was pretty iconic, and I mean, it was like, as a geek, I was just like, my wife's like, it's just costumes. I was like, no, you don't understand until you get there how cool it is to. I mean, you're standing inches away. Literally, some of them are out in the open, some of them are under glass because of their delicateness. But some of them are out in the open, and I can literally walk right up to it. They had laser barriers, little laser guide things. So if you put your hand past it, it went off. My son set one off because he touched Luke Skywalker. But it was just like, I mean, you can get right to them within inches of some of these costumes. And it was really, really cool to see, first off, how tall some actors are, how short some actors really are. Natalie Portman, I'm pretty sure a strong gust of wind would blow her away. And it's just like Alec. It started off here. I'll show you. I'll put some pictures up.
Now we know why she liked Thor so much.
Give me a second here. Here we go.
Seemed to have killed the room.
Here we go. Who killed the room?
I was reading up a bit on the history of the buildings more. So
Yes, power of the costume, Lucasfilm, blah blah blah, all that kind of good stuff. Oh, my kids. Sorry. My kids again. And little things from you can't do it unless you imagine it. These are painted on the walls as you walk in. And I'll leave that up if you want to read it for a couple minutes. I don't think I actually read this one. For the first Star Wars films, I wanted the costumes to be simple but timeless. Costumes modeled on the archetypes that audiences would find understandable and familiar. On the prequel trilogy, I knew a different approach was needed. We would be spending time in the galaxy's lavish capital and witness royalty, opulence, and advanced, albeit sometimes corrupt civilizations. Okay, that's what. But it all still works. Obi-Wan Kenobi's Jedi robes. I tell you what it's made from, all that kind of stuff. Cool thing. Photograph Alec Guinness, and then I'm standing right there, and I'm like literally inches from this thing, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so awesome. I mean, the boots, everything. I had no idea that was raw silk. I always thought that was canvas. It's raw silk. Everything's raw silk, and it's just so cool. And you're like, oh, check that out. And I was like, okay. Then I think Koinami Dala's costume. And I love that it says there was batteries in here, even though you can see in the original theatrical cut, you can see the power cord that was plugged in somewhere that lit these things on the bottom. Obi-Wan Kenobi, or I think that was a drawing for Obi-Wan for episode 1. Like I said, some really cool artwork from the originals and some other stuff.
I didn't even realize those lit up. I thought that was sunlight reflecting off.
Oh no, they lit up. Watch the movie. They light up. Obi-Wan Kenobi's lightsaber from episode 1. Now, it's kind of cool. I didn't get a shot of it from the top. It's not open on the top. There are just 5 holes in a circular pattern with one in the center. So the plasma would come up through said holes, I guess, if you're going to be canon about it. Oh, and then his Jedi robes, which, you know what's really funny? They didn't have the robes up there. Oh, horrible lighting on that picture. That one's better. That's one of the Jedis from episode 2. I don't remember her name. The lightsabers came out really cool in these photos. Palpatine's lightsaber. One-handed. I had no idea they were that small.
Oh,
Palpatine?
Palpatine's. Did I say Palpatine? I put an N in there?
You said Palpatine?
I always do that. It's Palpatine. But what's really funny is it's flat on top. There is no opening on the top of this one. And it is one-handed. It will not fit in 2 hands.
Well, I thought that was the whole point of his particular hilt. I mean, it's supposed to be sneaky. Plus, that's the hero design, right? It's supposed to look good in film.
Yes, but again, it's tiny.
He has tiny hands, though.
God, he was Trump.
No. Okay, yes, he was.
But
I
was amazed. I mean, because Obi-Wan's, Qui-Gon's, Mace Windu's, all the lightsabers were big enough that you could grab them with 2 hands, and it was definitely the hilt of a saber. While this was very, I mean, it was very compact. I mean, your hand would fit in that cutout, and that's it. That's all it would fit. I mean, it's very deceiving in this photograph.
More like a dagger.
Yeah, more like a rapier.
Or rapier.
As I recall, they were that small because he kept them hidden in statues in his office.
Yes. But then we got this. This is his robes for Return of the Jedi. And again, I wish I had gotten closer to this one. They had him up on a pedestal. This is as close as I could get to it. It's, again, very, very... There's a lot of texture to all this stuff that you don't see on screen. And I was just like, it's amazing. It really is amazing.
The waffle pattern, I do remember that.
Yes. Original... Ian McKegg, is it Ian McKegg's? Yeah, Ian McKegg's drawings for Darth Maul. And then we had Darth Maul's costume. Now I've met Ray Park. I've met him a couple of times actually, and I don't remember him being as tall as this looked.
He's not. In all the pictures I've seen, he's kind of short.
He is. He's shorter than me, and I was like, I don't know.
They shot him in such a way as to make him appear bigger. I know
But
that.
the costume that was up here, the mannequin, they had his. I mean, this is the costume he wore in the film, but it looks a lot bigger.
Could
than
have had some inserts in the boots.
Could have. Oh, Luke Skywalker's Jedi robes again, wool and raw silk.
You would
Let's
think
see.
raw silk would be pricey.
He's
How did that get there?
5'10".
Okay. They had this was a cool display. They had a holographic mirror thing going on. The cubes were actually far, far down inside this tube, and I'm surprised the photo actually got the cubes. I was like, Watto's cubes. It is a really weird thing to put on display, but I was like, it's still pretty cool.
The D6s, okay.
Yeah, Luke's Jedi robes from Return of the Jedi. Pretty sweet. Behind him is Anakin from Episode 1. Which, that's probably, I mean, this has got to be the cleanest looking Jedi thing in the entire exhibit. He didn't wear, did he wear a robe?
At the very end.
He did have a robe on?
At the very end when he's Obi-Wan's Padawan or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I think he's wearing a
There it
robe
is.
in that scene.
Yeah, the young Anakin Skywalker picture. That's it
Ah,
right
okay.
there.
Well,
Yep.
yeah, but that's but I don't know that he's not wearing a robe in that picture. He's wearing
Well,
wearing.
that is the robes. You're thinking the cloak.
Yeah. The
The-
cloak. I mean, the
the
cloak.
overcloak
The actual
deal.
cloak. Yeah, the over.
I don't
Sorry,
think he
I
actually
think
wore
I
that.
think of tunic and robe, not robe and cloak.
Yeah,
Well, speaking of tunics, if you watch Return of the Jedi, you do not see the fact that that tunic on Luke Skywalker in the beginning of the movie is raw silk. You'd have no idea it's as light as it is. It always looked heavy, like flannel, and it's not. It's this really light material. And I never actually noticed that the boots were cut out around the knee and then went up over it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Qui-Gon Jinn's lightsaber.
It is
again.
very much based on Japanese
Yes.
stuff. So yeah, it makes sense. They're using a lot of similar fashion techniques and such.
They got
material.
Mace Windu's lightsaber wrong.
It doesn't say BMF on the activation button, does it?
No, it's green.
You.
That's Mace Windu. That's his robes, his costume, but the lightsaber is green. Obi-Wan is back behind it.
It's probably because Samuel
Why
Why
Jackson
does
kept it.
Obi-Wan have the purple saber?
It's not. It was blue. It's just the way the red light from Maul's saber and his were mixing in the photograph.
Yeah, the reason
Well-
I bet you the reason why that's the green one with Mace is because Samuel Jackson kept his.
Yeah, I was gonna say if he's to be believed, he brought his home with him.
Could be.
Well, Ewan McGregor said he kept his too.
Don't imagine anyone would have stopped him.
Well, who could
Now-
blame him?
I'm going to shoot through these because there's an awful lot of them. And my daughter even noticed this because Princess Leia had 4 costumes. One of which was, actually she had 3 costumes because they duplicated her robes for the end of Empire Strikes Back. So let's see, she had the white, she had the snow, the Bespin, back to the white dress, the Bouche or Bausch, whatever it is, depending on how you want to say it.
La Bouche.
LaBouche, she had the slave, and then she had the rebel commando outfit at the end of Return of the Jedi. Okay, 7 costume changes in 3 films. Queen Amidala and Padme Amidala had. Okay, well, here we go. I'm just gonna go through them. I don't have photographs of some because they didn't turn out because it was too dark. Oh, there's Princess Leia, and that is, I mean, again, deceiving. You look at this and you're like, oh wow, she looks real tall. She's also on a 3-foot or a 2.5-foot pedestal in front of me, and I'm looking directly at it. So if this was on the ground, she would be probably under my arm. Carrie Fisher was
short.
a tiny woman. Okay, Queen Amidala. Here we go.
Carrie Fisher made that point as well when she roasted George Lucas impromptu. He's like, she changes her outfit every time she goes through a door.
Oh wait, here we go. This is the other queen from Queen Jamila, I think her name was, from Episode 2. Ian McKegg's original drawings for Amidala. And Tuscan. And like I said, I missed a whole lot of Amidala's dresses, and that's not. You keep going. There's more Amidala stuff. The Sand Person. This one rocked my world, even though it has on its tag it said 1975. I'm pretty sure this is one of the Sand People from episode 3. Just because of how blasted new it looked. And because she was standing right next to him.
I don't know. They only had the Sand People for, a few scenes, so if they just packed them right away, they'd probably stayed
Possible.
behind.
It is possible.
Why would you make new
cool.
ones when you don't have to? That one would be new, for the mates, but not the warriors.
Yeah. You know what? After looking at it, I always thought that they didn't fit for some reason. The females just look off. They didn't. It's not. I mean, it's just the headpiece. And even getting close to it, I was like, yeah, it's still, to me,
it's a very different style.
Yeah, it's like this looks slapped together, and that looks ornate.
We need something different.
And there it is. The original. I didn't realize it was made out of rubber. It's all the gold is painted rubber. That was pretty cool. And this again was on a pedestal, so I was staring, pedestal about 2 feet high.
Probably better go with rubber than actual metal. As it is, I guess it was very uncomfortable anyway. So rubber, I would imagine, would be easier to design with. I don't know. You're the sculptor here.
Yeah, it's actually easier to mold. I'm gonna make multiple castings of it, rubber or plastic, but rubber would be easier to put on because it bends. Sam Wessel, or Wessel? Is it Wessel? Sam Wessel?
Nuclear Wessel.
Here we go. Looking straight at the Fett, I was like, oh, that's so awesome. Now I can say I've met the man who was Boba Fett. I've met both guys who played Boba Fett. I've met Daniel Logan, and I've met oh God, why can't I think of his name now?
Jeremy Bullock.
Yes, I've met Jeremy Bullock.
He is awesome.
I've met Jeremy Bullock twice. But now I got to see the costume he wore, and it's still blasted cool. It's just, I had to get up close. I had to take pictures. I was like, this is awesome. I had no idea that the thing on top of here was a viewfinder from a Polaroid. They really did cannibalize as much stuff as they could.
What's from a Polaroid? Oh, you mean the very top piece there?
The top of his antenna thing. It's a viewfinder from a Polaroid. And Jango Fett. You actually could walk around like, okay. And you read, I was reading the stuff they had written down, how they wanted it to be recognizable, but not exactly the same, and what they did different, and how they changed it. And they made Boba's look like it was thrown together, whereas his dad's looks like it's an actual Mandalorian art. I mean, it was really cool.
It makes sense in Boba's case anyways. Besides,
yes,
he was busy for a pretty long time.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool to look at the difference between the two of them. And then have them stand back to back like that. It's awesome. It really was. I was geeking out this whole time. I mean, they say it takes about an hour to walk through there. It probably took us an hour and a half. I was reading everything. Huh?
You had pictures to take.
I was amazed you could take pictures. I was like, and I will post all of these pictures on the YouTube, or not on YouTube, on the Facebook page. I'll make an album up there, and I will post all these photos, so you can come back and look at them anytime you want. And if any city you're in and this travels to your city, go see this exhibit. It's actually really, really cool. My wife commented how thin Chewbacca was. She didn't say anything about how thin Harrison Ford was. Just how
Who hasn't changed, apparently. You're like, Harrison Ford, you don't need to get in shape. You're fine.
Mm-hmm. That's his Return of the Jedi vest, isn't it?
I think so,
yeah.
Very pockety.
A fuzzy photo of Chewie. A better photo of Chewie.
Pun not intended.
Pun not intended, but they're free. And one of the few Star Wars characters to not wear boots on the outside of his pants. I noticed that walking through. Everybody else had boots that went up to their knee. Finn, you got tennis shoes on.
Well, he was kind of in a hurry.
True.
I don't see how people wear boots on the outside
It's not that hard.
I wonder why I know I got the top of it. That's
you
weird.
gotta keep in mind, I was in the service. We actually bloused our boots. The pants go in the boots. You do that on purpose.
Yes. And Ray's costume, again, totally looks like it's thrown together, but so intricate. So much stuff going on. You're like, wow, check that out, check that out, check that out.
More raw silk?
No, I think I don't remember what this was. I didn't take a photo of the thing. It might have some raw silk on it. Oh, there he is. There's my little boy. With his lightsaber, if you can't tell. Once we turned the corner here, and it was like he lit up. Because everything else is like, yeah, Luke Skywalker, yeah. And we turned the corner, and R2-3PO and BB-8 are there, and he lost it. But there's R2.
Yeah, I've seen many on R2 these days.
Yes, me too. But I have not seen that. Original. That was cool. I was like, check out. The fact that I got that close to it, still, I mean, it's like, oh, I mean, there was no security guard here, so I actually leaned over.
If you had a selfie stick, you could have gotten real close.
I could have.
Not that I recommend it.
Now 3PO's a lot taller. I mean, I've met Anthony Daniels. I just don't remember him being that tall. But he was taller.
6'4".
Wicket. Now I laugh. My wife goes, "You are such a geek. How would you know this?" I was like, "That's not the Wicket from Return of the Jedi." She's like, "What do you mean it's not the Wicket?" I was like, "That's not the Wicket from Return. That's the Ewok movie Wicket, and that's how you can tell. These two eyes are wrong. Like that's the Wicket from the Ewok movies."
Yeah, it's the one that looks like it could eat your soul.
Yeah, the eyes are very, very different.
She's like, "You're such a geek that you know these things.
You know what you got into when you married me."
Vacuform plastic over long sleeve unitard. And it just looks so weak because they have it just standing there. But that's one of the, I mean, that was from Return of the Jedi. And then standing next to this, it just looks so tiny. Those are actual, what they say this was, these were injection molded.
Ugh, why didn't they pose them?
I don't know.
Because they're soldiers. They're at the position of attention.
Yes, I know that, but it just.
I don't know. They should give them. They should make it more dynamic.
They should have made him blasting or something. This one was cool. I actually sat and I walked around this one a lot, and I was like, this thing is just so cool. It's really awesome that under the helmet is it's kind of like the inside of a garbage disposal drain with the rubber flaps. So it's completely covered around the neck, and your head slides through, and they flap back into place. It really was a cool uniform. It was a nice updating of the snowtrooper. And I can't remember the actress who wore this in Force Awakens. The kids were all like, "Oh, it's Poe Dameron." I was like, "No, that's not Poe Dameron. Not unless Poe Dameron had a sex change."
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the female X-Wing pilot.
One of the pilots, yeah. The other pilots.
Yeah, it's the female pilot.
Doesn't she die?
No.
No, she survives.
No, you killed the alien.
Now, I found it odd that they had him in between these two costumes. I was like, okay, that's the... It's not... Is that Captain Typho? It's one of the Naboo guys. And then there was Luke Skywalker.
I think it's because they also... I mean, I could be wrong, but they also had some that looked like pilot outfits. I mean,
true.
They were pilot too. I mean, Amidala wore one.
That's actually there was a there was General Typho or Captain Typho, and I can't remember which one of the two it is. But the Luke Skywalker one's pretty cool. Again, it shows you how small Mark Hamill really was. I mean, he was thin. He was a tiny little dude. Those are cool. All the B-Wing helmets. They actually had names for all of them. The bat
also
was
Y-Wing helmets.
Huh?
They're also Y-Wing helmets.
These were not introduced until Return of the Jedi.
No, we didn't. But as the pilot that was wearing it, He was driving an A or Y-wing, and when he crashed into a Star Destroyer.
Was he?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
He goes,
Either way.
I'm hit, and
That's
then
a pretty
you see
cool helmet.
flames, sparks, and he spins out, and there he goes, crash.
They were cool helmets. And I wish these photos turned out better, but it's hard to take a photo of something black in a dark room. But again, when you got up close to the First Order stuff is so detailed and so just well made. I mean, it really is. These are eye stormtroopers because they look like Apple did these things. They're so perfect.
Well, there's a whole new methodology to produce them now. So
Yep.
First Order's pilot.
Yes, First Order pilot. And then this was an Imperial officer, because that's not First Order officer. The hat is wrong.
And if you want to order a replica of that stormtrooper outfit from like Novos, you better get ready to lay down some serious cash for that thing.
I've got the hat.
And then we have the Imperial TIE Fighter.
Tate has a Hugs costume.
Sweet. It's the cosplay no one wants to do. It's the Weasley boy.
I know Jody wants to try to pull off Captain Phasma.
She was not here. There was no Captain Phasma.
Are you kidding me?
It would have been in this room.
That's a crime.
Unless it was in use.
That was pretty cool. It was just a helmet hanging on the wall. They didn't have the whole outfit, but just the helmet. And I'm pretty sure that's just a replica. And all the little greebles and whatnots on Imperials. Same for the Rebels. The original, what was it? Data, what are those things called?
Data cylinders.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, the
Code cylinders.
Yeah, that's it. Code cylinders.
Cylinders.
It was for radiation.
Now, sitting here and I'm looking at this, and the woman security guard was really full of a lot of Star Wars knowledge. She asked me, she goes, do you know why they designed this to look like this? And I was like, well, they wanted it to harken back to the Emperor's Guards in Return of the Jedi. And she goes, no, why they put the headpiece on? And I was like, no. She goes, well, where was the first Senate?
Rome.
I was like, in Rome. And she's like, and she took a step back. She goes, out of the 4 months we've been doing this now, 3 months we've been doing this, you're the third person to get that. I was like, really? She goes, I have asked that question to hundreds of people, and only 3 people have been able to answer it. I was like,
it harkens back to,
Rome.
Roman centurions.
Yeah, it's exactly it. It was a Roman centurion.
It's kind of a mixture of Roman centurions and Spartans.
Okay, what are we up to now on Amidala? What are we, 7 outfits and 10 outfits? Here's another one. And, Organa, Bail Organa. What?
Oh, were we supposed to be keeping count?
No. It was just, there were so many Amidala dresses. So many of them. Bail Organa's costume was pretty sweet. Masamita. Again, very sweet. Again, very intricate and detailed. It was like, wow, check this out. All the fabrics and all the little tiny things here and there. Let's Mon Mothma's costume from episode 3. When she was Senator Mon Mothma. And I can never remember her name, but it was that advisor to the Emperor in the end of episode 3. And that was all just, it was weird. It was not feathers, but they were laid in like feathers. It must have taken forever. Oh, look, another photo of it that's actually better. And the Emperor from episode 3. Actually, these are all outfits that Ian McDiarmid wore. This is the Revenge of the Sith. That is episode 2, I do believe.
I have a really bad knockoff of that.
Episode 1. The one next to it with the big puffy sleeves, the photo was blurry, so I took it out of here. And more Amidala stuff. Now, I don't remember it being this sheer in the film, but you could see right through to that mannequin. I'm like, man, she must have had one heck of a slip-on, because you can, it's clear. The helmet she wore in the beginning of episode 2.
It's also really dark in that scene.
The hey, we got to show your belly outfit. More of the hey, we got to show your belly outfit. That was when they first arrived on Naboo, I think. I don't even remember. Again, really intricate, just crazy amount of stuff that went on. The, oh, I'm always going to cry in my nightgown outfit. And this blew me away. I don't remember this outfit. Everybody else does. My son remembered. He goes, she wore that in the second film. I was like, really? Really? She wore that? That's like, hey, check me out. You guys caught up yet? Can you see them?
You mean the Princess Jasmine look?
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
That's a sexy outfit.
I remember at the time thinking, Princess Jasmine. Also, 2 thumbs up.
The pregnancy,
Way up.
the I'm hiding my pregnancy but not hiding my pregnancy outfit. Now I have to say, my wife carried twins, and that is not a woman who's ready to give birth to twins.
They were premature.
The wedding dress. Now, this wedding dress, the photos don't do it any justice. This thing is insane. And Anakin's robes. My wife really liked the dress too. She's like, I really like that. This is the amount of stuff just sewn onto this dress is insane. And there he is. Now,
and I think
Darth
they only
Vader
wore some of this stuff for like, just a few seconds or
yes,
even a minute.
Again, they made an outfit for her literally every time she stepped through a door.
She was royalty.
Now, the Darth Vader outfit that they had on display was the one that Hayden Christensen wore. It is not the David Prowse outfit. And you can tell when you turn the corner and you see this for the first time. For one, they have it on a 4-foot pedestal or something. No, a 3-foot pedestal. Something that it's tall, it's up high, so you can't see how short this really is. They make him much more imposing than it really is, because this outfit probably was maybe about 4 inches taller than me. But it still looks pretty cool. That foot looks a little wonky. But that's the mannequin, not the outfit. Then they had the stunt mask from Return of the Jedi. So you could see it was all foam padded inside, and I didn't get a shot of the inside that turned out. This is all clear plastic painted, so the eyes are actually, you can see right through them. There's no hazing or anything. It's really cool. Yoda.
Oh, Yoda.
Now, my wife's like, that's not the... I was like, no, that's a casting from the molds. The original foam latex has long since deteriorated.
Because they had to replace them in the first place.
Yes. But the outfit's the same. The outfit's real. That's really what Yoda wore. I was like, that's still a really good casting. They did a good job with it. My kid's playing around with Vader. Yeah, it's such a shame that they did not use the David Prowse outfit. It would have been much more imposing.
Well, David Prowse is a big man.
And then we got to the cool stuff. After you walked around the corner, you left all this, you went through a little gift shoppy thing where they sold some Star Wars stuff, and then there was the Kenner exhibit, which I'll fly through these because, again, I'll put these photos up on the Facebook thing.
Actually, I'm surprised they didn't just use or have that Vader one and also the Rogue One Vader, because you're not going to use them again. At least as far as I'm aware, they're not going to.
I had to explain to my son the whole beginning of Star Wars figures. He's like, what's the box for?
That's all you had.
That's all you had. This is some of Kenner's original stuff. I didn't realize they started off as a bottling company. And then they turned to toys. And these are some of the old toys that they have on exhibit. And then we got to the good stuff. Like the early bird certificate. And he's like, what was it? This is what he's like, what is this? I was like, you bought this piece of cardboard and you mailed in the little thing and they sent you the figures when they were ready. He's like, what? I was like, yeah, it's not like today where the action figures come out 5 months before the film. Like, no one knew the movie was going to be this big. He's like, really? I was like, yeah. No one really knew it was going to be huge. And there's the original set of 12. This was, I mean, the fact that I was this close. I mean, I was like, oh my god, there's like $1 billion worth of cool stuff in here, and I want it.
No place to put it.
The early bird mailing. I wonder whose collection this comes from, because I'm pretty sure none of this still exists in Hasbro stuff. Just this display case alone. Having some of this stuff would, I mean, there was stuff in here I didn't even know existed, like the command center on Hoth. I thought I knew about every Star Wars figure from back then.
Yeah, I've seen some of those floating around. Some of those boxes look like they're a little banged up. They must have been found at various, comic shops, comic conventions, whatnot, and brought into the fold, as it were.
I love the Yoda packaging. Let me know when you guys catch up. Is it on Yoda yet for you?
Yes.
Later.
Okay. I love the photo on there. Yoda's all serene looking and all Jedi'd out. And then you look at the action figure and it looks like he's tweaked. He's like, I just did an 8-ball and I'm loving life. I can smell colors. I had that. That's the only one I had of the big ones, of the 12-inch figures. My daughter instantly gravitated to this one. Instantly. She was right across the room to it. She was like, do they still make this? I was like, no, baby, they don't still make this. I never noticed how
was
stern
Vader
Obi-Wan.
taller than Chewie there?
No. He's a couple of inches. It's the way the photo is. He's not taller than Chewie. They're about the same size. I don't think. Yeah, because I took the photo kneeling down, a lower angle, so you can actually see my hands in the photo. But Obi-Wan looks really stern. I never noticed that before.
Sending out these darn kids in his desert.
And the last two of the 12-inch figures ever made, Boba Fett and IG-88. The Death Star. The prototype for the Droid Factory toy that they finally came out with that looked nothing like this. The original inflatable lightsaber. Before the hard plastic ones came out that made the cool noises when you spun them around.
I have one of those.
So I had 3 or 4 of them. They got beaten up real quick. The Death Star. Yeah. Obi-Wan, a pristine Obi-Wan. I mean, that thing is in gorgeous condition. R2 and 3PO. I still have my originals. R5D4.
I always thought that Obi-Wan figure looked weird.
The Ewok Village, which later got turned into the Sherwood Forest for the Robin Hood set that came out.
My brother got that one.
What, the Ewok or the Robin Hood?
The Robin Hood.
I had the Ewok Village. I remember when the Robin Hood came, I was like, wait a second. That's the Ewok Village.
He had it before it was cool.
Yeah, I had my choice that Christmas. Do I want the Ewok Village or do I want the Shuttle Tidarium? Idiot me chose the Ewok Village. The original AT-AT. An original Millennium Falcon, minus its deflector dish.
Sensor dish.
Let's see, that would have been the Empire Strikes Back Battle Damaged X-Wing Fighter. That's the one I own.
It looks so bad.
I wanted to tell them very badly that they hung this wrong. That the Slave one did not fly that way. The Micro Machines. This is... My son goes, did you have these? I was like, yeah, I had this one, I had that one, I had this one. Christmas was awesome, and then I lost them promptly before February.
I'd like to point out that while we're discussing Star Wars costumes, our friend
Yes?
Furin sent me a picture of his daughter dressed as Padme Amidala.
Sweet.
Completely unaware that we're doing the show tonight and talking about him.
And the exhibit ended with the Power of the Force figures. These were the last Kenner figures made before Hasbro put their name on them. And Kenner was dissolved until last year.
I actually have one of those micro collection items. I think it was a Chewbacca, maybe, somewhere floating around. Little piece of metal, you know.
This
Wow,
Bespin,
that's the first time I've seen one of those Jawas where the eyes actually light up properly.
it's because of the lighting they have in there.
Yeah, they look so dumb with that square piece of plastic in the top of their head for the light to pass through.
Yeah, the micro machines, the Bespin control room one, that one was pretty cool because it used to throw Luke Skywalker out. That was pretty sweet, and it
Just
connected
like
to the rest of the Bespin sets. Wish I had that one. I never had that one.
Matter of fact, the X-wing, the nose would crumple.
Would it?
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of, because we had one of them, and then many years later, or if we want to go the other way, just a few weeks ago, I saw it over at the comic shop. They had one of those. I'm like, holy shit! It's been a long time since I've seen one of these, and the nose crumples. It's the idea is that you literally crash land the X-wing. The TIE fighter, the wings would pop off from quote unquote battle damage, and it had batteries, so it would make sounds and the laser sound effects and all that.
Up on screen right now, that'll pop up for you guys in a second, is the most disturbing toy I think I ever owned as a child. Whoever thought it was a good idea to have a tauntaun with a belly that opens up?
It's lukewarm.
I see what you did there.
It's another one of the sets that I wish I had gotten as a kid. Like I said, I walked through here going, oh my god, look at all of this cool stuff. Slice Noodles and the Rebo Band, Max Rebo Band.
Wasn't Kenner based in Cincinnati?
Yes, that's why this is here. This is a different exhibit. It just happened to fit with the Star Wars one, so they did it. Another one, I was like, never got it.
With the Max Rebo Band, you guys remember the original singing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now,
Lopty Neck.
The thinking back on it now, I was like, did the singer actually sound like she was saying, "Eat my gonads"?
Lopty Neck, no. Eat my gonads, no. I can't think so, no.
I know it's been a long time. Maybe one of those things you have to rewatch. But I was like thinking about it, I was like, if you weren't paying close attention, you'd get the wrong impression about that song.
If I had a VCR player, I could find out for you.
I have a VCR, I have the tapes, and I'm not giving them out because they're somewhere in the storage area.
I have the soundtrack. I think I have every Star Wars soundtrack that's ever been made. I have some fan compilations where they've got stuff that wasn't released officially. Well, we're done with that. We're going to stick with the Star Wars stuff, since there was a whole lot of Star Wars stuff that came out in D23.
I didn't, other than the trailer, I didn't really see a lot of stuff from Star Wars. As much as I thought I would.
I mean, we got the TIE Silencer.
I'm talking about like
the wrong naming convention that made Alistair want to, go on a rampage.
Rage Against the Dying of the Light.
Whole bunch of action figures and stuff from Comic-Con. Well, actually, no, was it Comic-Con? Or it was Comic-Con that did the Silencer, right?
No, it was D23.
Was it D23? Because, I mean, they released, let's see, I know there were action figures revealed. Yeah, I'm not sure I like the TIE Silencer.
I like the look of it. I hate the naming and nomenclature.
Not very noisy.
Is it silent
what is it?
but deadly?
It's possible. So I guess why don't we just start with the news that came out of D23, honestly.
Well, go ahead.
So, I know how you were commenting a while back about how your daughter was asking why there wasn't a Rey figurine.
For what?
For Force Awakens.
For the Monopoly?
No, not for the Monopoly. An actual, like, oh hey, here's Finn, here's Poe, where's Rey? They actually announced at D23 that one of the first two action figures that are going to be released for Last Jedi are going to be Rey and Luke.
Well, there was a reason, and I can understand the reason. I'm not going into any kind of equality rant or anything like that. There was a reason why Rey was held back in the original toy releases, because they did not want to spoil anything. That's why she wasn't in the Monopoly set. That's why she wasn't one of the original figures to be released. I mean, she was, but she was short packed. They did not want it to be. They didn't want it to be revealed that the entire story was hers. I mean, it was okay. I can understand where they were coming from. Did it come across wrong? Sure, it came across wrong. I mean, but they made good on their thing. I have the Rey Monopoly figure sitting right here on my desk because they said if you want one, contact us. We'll send it to you as soon as it's available. Sure enough, I got mine in the mail. And now it's going to be released in the Monopoly sets from here on out. So, but yeah,
No, I'm not talking about...
No, the action figures.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that there was a reason for the lack of Rey in the original release of the action figures. Unlike, say, the Rogue One figures, where Jyn Erso was the only figure they released, it was her and Cassian. I mean, you can't find a droid anywhere. K2SO, have fun trying to find a K2SO figure. But
nowadays,
I mean, everybody knew she was the main character. No one knew Rey was the main character of the film, and that the story would revolve around her. The way it was marketed, it was just a new Star Wars film. Really, they did a really good job of keeping that hidden as to what the whole story was going to be. And they did not want that spoiled.
Why you can't find the K2SO figure anywhere?
Why?
They're all in Milwaukee.
Oh.
Now, why is it you get angry when other people make that joke?
Oh, man.
Because that's usually
his
his
joke. Little Moana joke for those who actually know the inside.
Why is that chicken eating the rock?
Why is that chicken voiced by Alan Tudyk? All right.
Are you sure you want the answer to that?
I'm trying to think what else came out Star Wars wise in D23 and Comic-Con so far. Not much.
Let's see. Well, there's a little bit of a Star Wars Easter egg in apparently the second Wreck-It Ralph.
Yes.
I so want to see that clip.
I want to see the clip too. I wanted the whole princess scene.
Yeah, the whole princess
Sounds
scene.
Hilarious. And now I guess there's a push for, I think I read it somewhere where people want Disney to do a Disney princess film in the vein of the Expendables.
Well, no, it was Avengers. I've seen some of the people or somebody did a interview with several of the voice actors and actresses.
Oh, they want the Avengers.
Yeah, they're going the route of the Avengers. And every single one of them was like, yeah, let's do that.
I'm sorry, I just want to see that particular clip so bad. And for those that are going to be listening in on the recording, for the Wreck-It Ralph showing, or a portion of D23's film panel, was it? Film and animation? I don't remember which one it is, but the scene goes that Vanellope meets up with the other Disney princesses, and there's a bit of a Star Wars joke later on in that scene. C-3PO.
3PO
Yes.
and BB-8.
Actually, no, just C-3PO. They just refer to him as either BB-8 or R2D2. And honestly, I'm sad now because C-3PO references or makes mention of Han Solo.
Oh, you can't use Han. Because he's in the wash, too.
Too soon.
Too
He's
soon.
on a spin cycle.
Get out.
Wow. Wow.
Oh, try spinning. That's a cool trick.
All right.
Nice save.
Nice. That's a cool trick. Okay. Well, you know what? I know we had talked about beforehand. Let's shift gears. And instead of talking about all the stuff coming out of Comic-Con and all that right now, because Comic-Con is technically still going, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
We can wait till next week and get all of that and give our thoughts on that kind of stuff. Let's go back to stuff that we haven't talked about that we should talk about. Like Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Yes.
Has everybody seen it?
No.
Spider-Pig?
You've seen
No.
it?
Alistair and I have signed our waivers.
They signed their waiver.
I signed the waiver. Actually, I've signed the waiver a long time ago.
Roland's got a rolling over waiver.
Whale lever.
Whales!
All right, well, Jim and I have seen it. Wolfie.
Jim and I?
Jim and I have difference of opinions on how good this film was, obviously.
I've seen
A
it.
little bit. A little bit.
Yes, but Tank, I don't know what you think of it yet.
Oh,
We're going to get into it. They've forgotten about us and they forgot about me because I've been gone for so long.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see. It was a good movie. It really was a good film. It, unlike some people who I've read interviews out there, I think it actually introduced a bad guy that was more than just a two-dimensional cutout. He had he was a good, it's Michael Keaton. He does a good job whenever he does. He was a much better bad guy than, say, Roland. Or Ronan, right? Ronan?
I was about to say, what did Roland have to do with this?
Yeah, I was wondering that too.
Yes,
Yeah, I was
Ronan.
going to say, wait, what did I do?
No, I just happened to look at the screen and Roland's name was there and it just instantly rolled off my tongue. Ronan.
Because it's Roland.
Roland. But, I don't know, Jim.
Keep them whales a rolling.
Since you were the one, because you said it was brilliant. I saw your reviews as you were posting stuff up there. What was your take on it? And then we can go back and forth, and we can get Tank into it, and we can back and forth.
Okay. Well, what I loved about The Vulture was you start out with a guy that's just a working stiff cleaning up the Avengers mess, and then the government descends and takes his livelihood away. So right away, you could relate with this guy.
Yes.
You could feel for him on that level that he's just a working stiff. In fact, he even says, he goes, come on, guys, all these other guys working with me, they have families to look after. I have a family to look after. You can't take this away from us. And this shadowy government agency just goes, get out.
Cleaning crew.
Yeah. And so now they work under the cover of darkness and they sneak in and get what they can when they can. And then it turns into, oh, well, this fell off the back of a truck, that kind of almost mafia kind of way of acquiring things. And so over a period of years, he kind of develops a little underground business for all of this alien tech that keep picking up. And
that's where the huge plot hole falls in for people who don't know that. They give you how many years go by.
Yeah, the years thing's a little...
The years is off. They say 8 years later when there's no way that 8 years passed. From the end of was it Age of Ultron? No, they're talking... No, wait, no.
From the Avengers.
From the event, it's still not 8 years.
Yeah,
Wait, when did Avengers come out?
Yes.
I have no idea, actually. They're all blend together. There's so many of these films. They come out every year.
Research something.
Yeah, but we're not. But the thing is, the way I look
2012.
at it, the way I look at it, we're not talking about real time here. We're
No.
talking about Marvel time.
True.
Yeah, but even in Marvel time, it's a little off.
Stop. Marvel time.
Whenever somebody else stopped, I don't know
If this was
it's
a
in the
Thor
name of
movie, it would be
love,
Stop Hammer Time.
or-
Thwip, 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 thwip.
That was such a small thing that I just didn't even let it bother me.
Okay. Was there anything that bothered you about the film? I just want to know.
Gee, let me think. Well, the one big thing that bothered me was no spider sense.
Okay, that bothered me too.
There were so many opportunities to bring spider sense into play, and they didn't use it. Now,
And their excuse was kind of lame. Well, they relied too heavily on it in the other films. I was like, no, they didn't.
No, they didn't. They used it beautifully.
Yeah, they didn't rely on it at all.
Well,
they didn't even mention of it.
There were only a couple of moments where it came up. You'd get that funny little sound and zoom in on Peter, and and he'd whirl around, and there's danger, and there were so many opportunities to make use of it, and they didn't. And so it seemed like a cheat to me.
Okay. But all in all, I mean, again, I think when it comes down to it, all in all, the film was good. Is it a great Marvel film? No, that there are only two great Marvel films, in my opinion. But, and we all know we know what those are.
My other gripe is May keeps getting younger and younger and younger.
No, she's
fine.
fine.
Hotter
and
hotter.
It's Marissa Tomei. You can leave her on screen all you want.
She actually argued to be
ending
made
scene,
older.
though.
Yeah, she argued to be made older, and they just left her, where she is. I mean, frankly, it makes perfect sense. It doesn't make any sense that his aunt would be in, her 80s while he's a teen. That really doesn't make a hell of a lot of sense at all. Is it possible? Yes, I'm not going to deny that.
I think it's just fine.
Yep, there's nothing. I see absolutely nothing wrong with the way she's portrayed. Now, if they start making her like in her 30s, all right, now we're getting a little silly.
Yeah. She's the hot aunt that he spies on in the bathroom. What?
I mean, his friend does.
Yeah, for me, being a visual person and that kind of stuff, and having done effects for films and commercials and stuff like that, and that kind of stuff jumps out at me. Whereas storyline-wise, I think the story was fine. The story actually probably was the closest to a Marvel comic that any of the films have gotten. The way it was laid out, it read like it was like reading a Spider-Man comic. It really does. Spider-Man comics are not all action. There's a lot of talking in Spider-Man comics. There's a lot of character development and a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Plot building. And then they throw in the action scenes as they go. And Marvel Comics is really good at doing that. They've been good at that for a long time. And some of the other films haven't done that as well. This one did it incredibly well, where it really did flow like you were reading a comic arc. Not just one book, but several books. They did it very well. The execution of it at times is what got to me and pulled me out of the film way too much. Whereas a lot of other people won't sit there and go, oh. Spider-Man himself didn't look as good in this film as he did in Civil War. And there are certain times in the movie where he physically jumps away from the background he's on, and he's no longer there, and it pulled me out of the film in these scenes. And I was like, the other Spider-Man movies did the CG Spider-Man stuff better, where he blended in with his surroundings and it didn't look like he was tacked into it. And there's one scene in particular, they actually show it in the trailer and in all the commercials, of him bouncing from rooftop to rooftop thing, and he looks like he's spring-loaded, and there's no physics involved. And that kind of drew me out of the film. I was like, that and Flash Thompson. There was no comeuppance for Flash Thompson.
Yeah, I didn't care for Flash at all.
Supposed to.
No, but the way they portrayed him, I understand where they were going, and they were trying to break that stereotypical big jock, dumb bully, bad guy. So they went with the nerdy bully who thinks he's better than everybody, the rich kid. So they traded one stereotype for another, and it was like, and there was no retribution. There was none of it there, and I was like, okay, so is he still
Yeah.
going to be a jerk in the next film?
Probably.
Probably.
I bet you his come up with this take longer because it sounds like they want to treat this like Harry Potter. So every
Yeah.
year of school is every year of the film.
Right. The other thing that bothers me is the whole MJ thing at the end.
Yes.
That
Well, she
made
was a
me
useless
little-
character
that-
from the get-go.
Well, she was there to make oddball commentary, but then the reveal at the end was like, what? It made no sense. It was
Well,
stupid.
she's not. They've actually said she's not the MJ you think she is. Her
Well,
name is Michelle. She's not Mary Jane.
I
she's
know,
a
but it
character
was-
from the comics. I mean, that's
It
Yes.
was but it fell into the area of gratuitous, and it made me frustrated.
No, the way I took it was, I mean, I guess we can go right into my thoughts on the film. It really, really captured the whole awkwardness of high school, and what made me really glad I'm not doing that anymore. Way past that point, thank God.
Oh, it did do that. I'm not
did
gonna
that
argue that.
perfectly.
It did do that beautifully.
And the way that particular part came across to me was, she's just kind of trying it out. See, this is what my friends call me. As she's pointed out earlier in the film, she has no friends, so she's stretching out, trying it out just to see what kind of reaction she get, and everybody around her is like, whatever. Which it worked. And I was like, I'm sitting there, I'm cringing, I'm go, ooh, that doesn't go over well. I wasn't even thinking of the whole Mary Jane aspect of it. I was just immersed into it and just feeling it as it was, and it's like, yeah, that one went funk.
I'll tell you what. If there is no mention in the Defenders or any of the Netflix series that follow this of the incident on the ferry or any of this other stuff, the incident at Coney Island, any of these things don't get mentioned or at least touched
Little
upon
Bobby
because
fired.
this takes place in New York City.
Reminds
And
me.
big things like that, when planes crash and when big stuff like that happens, when there's an attack on Washington, things like that makes the news, it makes stories, and there's got to be mention of the spider guy floating around New York City.
Well, we'll also have to find out the time frame for the thing.
True.
It could be before this.
True. I don't know. There was the MJ thing kind of. I mean, Tank, you're right. They did nail the awkwardness of high school perfectly. They did that very well.
Now, I did not see the twist coming, though. I don't know why I didn't see it, because in retrospect, I should have.
I don't know if I saw it, but I mean, it kind of made sense.
Oh,
I
it
don't
totally
know
made sense.
I don't know the characters well enough because I know the characters. I mean, they're all in the books. I just didn't. It didn't connect with me until it was revealed, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, who her dad is, and it was like,
Yeah.
Oh damn. And then I knew that was going to be awkward.
Like, oh, of freaking course, that's who her dad is.
Now, the I don't know. It's still the biggest thing that bothered me was the lack of physics in Spider-Man's motions. But the
Dark suit.
I loved they nailed the perfect that they put Spider-Man in his worst environment whatsoever, and I loved it because they've only done it a couple of times in the comics. They put Spider-Man in a place where he can't swing.
Yeah.
And it was like, how do you stop Spider-Man from being able to do anything? You put him in the middle of a field. It was like, there you go. He's got nothing to swing from. And they did that perfectly. I was like, awesome.
That was kind
And
of entertaining.
What about
This sucks.
What about the hilarious ending when Aunt May walks
Yes.
in on him?
Yes.
Oh man.
I so wish in
What
the,
the fuck?
when it gets released on DVD or whatnot, they actually let her finish that sentence.
I think it worked. No, it's funnier.
It worked perfect though.
It's funnier
Don't
not
change
finishing
a
it.
thing.
Now, I will say for a PG-13 movie, this was geared towards kids. They've been marketing this towards kids. There was a lot of stuff that I was like, yeah, they definitely nailed the PG-13 on this one. There were the computer scene.
Right? He's like, what are you doing?
The scene where they're talking, who would you F, who would you date, and who would you marry? I was like, I can't believe they left that in there. This is I mean, well, it's because Disney didn't do it. Because Disney didn't do it.
But this is what kids are doing, which was
I know.
was so perfect.
Exactly. But it's like Disney would not have done that in a movie.
No.
No, but Marvel would.
Marvel would, but because they still answer to Disney.
But there's enough of a degree of separation that they're allowed a little leeway.
But I mean, it was good. It was like, oh wow, the whole. What are you doing? Looking at porn. It was like
I have no cover.
It was something you knew it was coming when he says like that's exactly the answer any kid would give.
I don't want to out my friend Spider-Man. Quick, think of something that's really good to cover.
Okay. It took a week to build all the Death Star models that they destroyed. The Lego Death Stars. They went through 5 of them for that one scene.
Yep.
A week. It takes 24 hours or more to build that model. And they dropped 5 of them.
Those monsters.
God, my heart.
If I was the guys who had
$500 a piece.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, it's not like it's gonna break. It's just gonna blow apart.
No, it's $500 a piece just to own the damn things. Like, I would love to have one, but they're too damn expensive.
Blown apart just like the real one.
But I'm tish.
But yeah.
What about the after credits button?
PSA.
Oh my god. Oh
so
my
disappointing.
God, that was. I thought it was the best one yet. I was. The whole audience that stayed behind were in hysterics.
Oh, it was perfect. They trolled the ever-loving hell out of everybody.
They did, and we got punked, and we deserve it, and it was beautiful.
Patience.
To get rewarded
Captain
with something so disappointing.
What was the other one? There were 2, weren't there?
Just
one.
one.
There was the jail scene.
Oh yeah.
Who was that guy?
The Scorpion.
Okay. He's supposed to be Scorpion.
Mm-hmm.
He's also in Better Saul.
Oh, Matt Gargan.
Now, I am
Doesn't
very
he
happy.
become Venom at some point?
Might have.
In the comics?
Yeah, moving along. Everybody's been Venom.
Like Venom has been Venom.
The Venom was Carnage.
Anyway.
Anywho, I give it a 4 out of 5.
I agree.
Maybe a 4.5, but a 4. I mean, a solid 4.
A solid 4, yeah.
It is
a solid 4.
Yeah, I mean, there are only 2 Marvel films that get 5 in my opinion, and those are Captain America 1 and 3. Everything else gets 4s and 3s. There are no 2s or below. Oh,
not even Thor.
Thor.
That's a huge butt.
Thor. Well, that's which one? The first one? I think the Thor movies and the Hulk film are the weakest of the group, but they still don't deserve a 2.
I give Guardians a solid 5.
Oh, that's tough. Oh yeah.
Look at what I'd rated it
the
on
first
IMDb,
one, the
but
first
unfortunately
one,
it's not pulling up.
The first one.
The first one, solid 5. The second one is
3.5.
3.5 or 4.
There was just so much that I don't know. 3.5. The second one just felt disjointed here and there, but
yeah, but it's so hard to catch lightning in a bottle. It really is.
It is.
Now, what I'm looking forward to is to see everybody team up.
Yes.
Oh my freaking God! I can hardly wait.
That's the main thing that's been coming out of Comic-Con this week.
Yeah, a lot of Avengers stuff. I'm looking forward to Black Panther.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Still got no idea what's going on in that trailer.
Nope, not a clue, and that's awesome.
But it looks insane.
Speaking of trailers, are we going to talk about Punisher?
But he was only in it for a couple of seconds.
Potentially, going to be a key aspect of the Defenders. That's cool.
Oh, the one that just came out?
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks like I got here just in time.
Watched it yet?
I just think he makes an awesome Punisher. I really do.
He is an amazing man.
My problem, I really wish they would tie. I mean, the whole idea of it was all connected. I wish they would tie in tighter. I really do. I understand the differences.
Yeah, I don't know what they're afraid of. Maybe.
No, it's the people who run the two separate entities.
Yeah, I know. But
I still thought our introduction to Castle should have been that he was a former SHIELD agent that Coulson recruits on AOS, but is too violent.
Oh, I like that idea. I like that idea a lot. That is a really cool idea.
What really sucks is no Deadpool.
Yeah, what
no
up
Deadpool
with that?
Punisher. Sorry, I interrupted you. My bad. I'll go sit in the corner now and kick the cat.
We can all look forward to Squirrel Girl.
Yes. I can switch gears slightly because there was something that popped up recently in my feeds here that I think it was on comic book resources, which I'm starting to take them with a grain of salt, a lot of salt, like the entire Morton Salt Factory, because I'm getting really sick of their 15 reason things, and they need new writers. And they actually put out a thing as to why. What was it? Oh my goodness, which movie? It's like which movie was better than this one, or why this one was better than that one? And it was like, are you kidding me? Really? But it's like no. There's rumors. An insider rumor, supposedly, that Warner Brothers will be phasing Ben Affleck out of the role of Batman. Even though they have all come out and said, no, he's our Batman. Matthew Vaughn, who's doing the Batman film, has said, no, he's my Batman. So there's that. They're saying they might do it as soon as after Justice League.
With Batman. I'm enjoying it. I didn't think I would, but then upon reflection, I find him to be a very good Batman.
Yeah, I think they're removing him weakens their entire stance in the comic book films. It's like, dude, you found something that works. Why change it?
It's not like DC's ever made a bad decision before.
Oh no, not at all.
I think if they do try to phase him out, they'll probably make him Old Man Wayne.
Well, that's what they're. I mean, phasing him out or something, but they want to phase him out of the role of Batman and possibly recast. And I'm like,
no,
what? I thought you were building this big universe.
Don't recast Batman. Just have him retire and get a Dick Grayson.
Give it to Nightwing. Yeah, give it to
Grayson. Yeah, give it to Dick Grayson or guys. If you're gonna have an old Bruce Wayne, it's got to be Michael.
Yes, but I mean the ridiculousness of it. I mean, it's like. You finally hit your stride. Wonder Woman hit the ground running. Batman versus Superman was a hiccup. Superman, Man of Steel, it still tears fans apart because they're like, some like it, some don't.
Yep.
And there's no in between on that one. People either like it or they don't like it. I am one of the ones that liked it. I like what DC's doing with their universe. It's the
right, but it
anti-Marvel.
seems like it seems like their motto is, well, if it ain't
If it ain't broke,
we
will fix that.
Yeah. I mean, it's... when I heard that, I was like, no, why? Why? He did fine. He was not the reason why Batman versus Superman did badly. Now, unless there are internal problems between him not directing the Batman or creative differences between what he thinks the role should do or what should happen. I mean, he was supposed to direct the Batman movie. He wrote it. His story is not being used. They're going to have someone come in and rewrite the film. So it's like there could be that aspect of it where there could just be, we don't want you in the role anymore because we don't like you.
Bats versus Supes was bad because of Lex Luthor.
No argument there.
No.
I really did not care.
He was just plain awful.
Well, no one is ever going to be as good as Gene Hackman.
Honestly, thing, even feel Gene Hackman was that good.
Oh no, Hackman did.
Hackman played it for laughs.
Yeah, well, for what they were going for, it was just fine in the original Superman films. But that's not Luthor. Luthor's not all about real estate. So,
Well, it was a kinder, gentler Luther.
Yeah, whatever.
I think they should have got what's his name who does the voice. The Kurgan there. What's his name?
I know what
Clancy.
you're talking about.
Clancy
Yes.
Brown.
Yes, Clancy Brown. He might be a little old for the role now, but
Oh, he'd have been great.
yes.
He honestly, whenever I hear Luthor, I think Clancy Brown.
You know who could have pulled off Lex Luthor as he was written in that film and gotten away with it? Aside from Eisenberg, who he was annoying in that film. Christopher Walken could have played that role and pulled it off. It was like it was written for Christopher Walken.
I'm trying to
Think
picture
about the
that.
way that role was written. Think about the little things he
fight
does.
with this man.
Oh no. I don't know. Superman never scared me, but Batman does. Because he's fast. What?
Also, side note, I had
Yes.
to do after my modem reset, everything's good now, it seems. Yeah, I got looked up my score for Homecoming, and I gave it an 8 out of 10, so I'd say that's about equal to your guys' 4 out of 5.
Yeah, 4 to 5.
It wasn't breaking new ground. Best thing about that film was,
No, but it sure did break a shit.
in my opinion, the Vulture. The way he portrayed that character was just so nuanced. And I like how they snuck in all of the little villains. So, okay. Anyway, we can go back to DC
and to see the Vulture at home with his family, and he was such a different guy in those scenes. You go, how can he be this nice family man and do the things he's doing? You know?
Yes.
And
I mean, he's a cold-blooded murderer.
But the thing is, when he killed that guy, he was like, I thought this was the gravity gun.
Yes.
But he still had no remorse over it. He's like, oh,
He was
no
like,
remorse.
oh, well, screw it.
There's more of a oops.
And we didn't even talk about the Shocker.
Yeah, like I said, I like how they snuck in all the little villains. We got set up for Gargan. We got the Shocker. I mean, they didn't even do the whole
Tinkerer.
Vulture trying to do his, trying to regain his youth or whatever thing. Which is kind of a hokey.
There was no Osborns, which was awesome.
Yes.
I'm sure that they'll show up later.
I'm sure they will. But I mean, relying on your best villain right from the get-go has been the problem with so many films. Nolan did it right.
An idea. Great. The name just flew right out of my head. He was going to play Superman, but never did. Nicolas Cage would have made an interesting Lex Luthor.
I can see that, actually.
Can you see?
Oh my
it?
goodness, yes.
Think about it. Yeah.
Yes,
Almost
even
like
as
it
it was
would've-
written.
As it was written. Yeah.
Yeah, like really conniving almost.
Manic.
I could just see it.
Yeah.
I was like, the way he's portraying. I'm going to take away that which you need the most. I'm going to steal the Declaration of Independence. Wait, wrong film.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sell you guns. No, still the.
Now, I mean, there's so much. I mean, a lot of people will disagree with me on this one. I thought Kevin Spacey did an incredible job as Lex Luthor.
He was great.
Yeah, I think his portrayal of Luthor was good. The whole real estate thing is like, oh, come on, move on. But the most of it, he was trying to get Lois Lane to admit something about him, and he just snaps like there.
Yes, and he was vicious. He did not hold. I mean, he was like, okay. I mean, he was beating the snot out of him. He stabbed Superman in the back. It was like, yes, this is. I mean, it was Luthor hates Superman.
With the fiery passion of 1,000 burning suns.
Yes.
Or one red sun.
Kryptonite.
Ooh.
Because he can't stand that there's something that just so effortless, Superman to just
If you really
lord this power over him, and he, to be potentially superior to him, and he can't stand that.
Okay, Kevin, we want you to come back and play Lex Luthor. We realize you did it in Superman Returns, but this time we want you to play Lex Luthor as Christopher Walken.
Wait, what?
He does an incredible Christopher Walken.
Well, yes, he does. He does an
incredible
amazing
Christopher
and
Walken.
he's an
Robin
amazing.
Williams could have done it.
He's an amazing.
Oh my
Oh my God,
goodness.
yes.
Robin Williams, his drama chops were not not weak at all.
He could have pulled off Lex Luthor. Yes, he could have. There's quite a few other actors. The casting of Jesse Eisenberg was wrong.
On so many levels. Well, the thing that they did, though, they intimated that they kept intimating, was very subtle, or maybe it wasn't, that he wasn't Lex Senior.
No. They were pretty
Lex
obvious about that one.
Junior.
Yes,
So they've left it open that Daddy could show up.
that's possible. That is possible.
And then it turns out that Eisenberg's Luthor just had daddy issues the entire time.
Yep.
Well, they never portrayed him as
Trying to live up to the old man.
They never portrayed him as
Oh my
the
God, we
super
forgot our
intelligent.
moments of silence.
Huh?
No, I don't think we forgot him yet.
Who? What?
Well, Chester Bennington.
Yes.
Romero and Landau.
Oh, Lando. Yes.
Oh, there's a loss.
No one commented on my thing about Romero's death. Because there were so many jokes. I mean, it's horrible, but it was just like the jokes wrote itself on his death.
Yeah.
It was like, please stay dead.
Yeah,
Please.
I think I saw more than one person making that joke on artwork of it. Where
I did it. I put it on I was like, rest in peace, please.
No. I mean, there was others. I saw people actually, tombstone of George Romero, and then his hand sticking up through the ground.
Yes. Martin Landau, man was old. He lived a great life. Won an Oscar. Incredible actor. His best role, Ed Wood, by far.
Pull the string.
Harloff. Sorry, that was like the best rant. That and the octopus. Now roll around in the water. I'm not going to say the word he used, but it was F you. It's cold in here. Throw me the whiskey.
And then there was Commander Koenig.
Yes.
Yes.
Which I have to get Hulu just to watch those.
He was also brilliant in Mission Impossible.
Yes, he was. Going back and watching the original Mission Impossibles, they were not always the good guys. I was watching a couple of them because they're on one of the channels around here, and I was like, they're not really good guys in this one. They're just doing what they're told. Because they were infiltrating something that really wasn't as bad as all that, and I was like, what are they doing? They were manipulating some kind of government something or other, and it was like, this is not. These guys aren't that bad. They're not trying to take over the world. They're not trying to do anything. You're just manipulating the way a government works. I think they flat out assassinated somebody. But it was still a great show.
You gotta remember, Mission Impossible was kind of written in this whole everything communist is bad light.
I don't think it was communism that they were up against. It wasn't Nazism or communism. I don't remember. It was just, it struck me odd that they were not the good, as in like the white hat wearing, we're the good guys kind of guy. I mean, which the show normally was. This was an episode, and it just kind of struck me funny. I was like, this is ambiguous. This is really skirting a line of, are you doing what's right? But it was still an excellent show.
Well, if it was from the first season, the first season's very different than how it kind of later becomes at times. Because you got Hill or whatever that actor's name is, instead of Peter Graves.
Boom, boom, boom. Peter Graves. He was offered the movie, wasn't he?
I don't know.
Sure.
He's dead though, right?
Peter Graves? Yeah.
Yes. When did he die?
March 14th, 2010.
Oh, okay. I'm pretty sure he was offered the role in the first Tom Cruise one, and he turned it down.
But if I remember correctly, he wanted nothing to do with it because they were making him a bad guy.
That's exactly it. He turned it down because Jim Phelps, in his opinion, would never be the bad guy.
I always forget he's James Arness's brother.
Yeah,
He's the
that's
good-looking
right.
brother. James Arness looks like a bag of rocks that got beat up. Even when he was young, he looked like a saddlebag with eyes.
They have the same nose, though.
Yeah. But he always looked rough. That's why he played a really good cowboy. But
Made
he
a
always just
hell of a marshal.
yeah, he always looked like he was rode hard, put away wet. Always. And for those of you that have dirty minds, that's a horse reference.
Yeah.
Stop laughing, Tade.
What? You know the kind of person I am.
I know.
He
you're the kind of person I'm talking about.
I know.
He
That's why I
can't
started
help
giggling.
himself.
I was fine until you said something.
Can't help it. He can't help it.
Wow, we have been going on, and it's already been 2 hours. Holy cow! Oh, an hour and a half. Woof.
You know
How woofy?
what show Martin Landau's actually really good in that a lot of people probably don't even realize he was in, because a lot of people like in our circle probably didn't watch it, is Entourage.
I watched 1 or 2 episodes of it.
I think
He's
I caught
only in
15 minutes
he's
of that
only
show
in a
once.
few episodes, but he's really good when he's in it.
And from the 15 minutes that I caught of that one episode, I can think of 1,000 things I would rather do than watch that show.
Oh yeah, it's awful. A horrible show.
A lot of them involve like nails, hammers, and porcupines. And doing things with them. Oh, no. I hear it was an okay show, but from what I saw, it was just not my cup of tea.
It's hit or miss.
It seemed very like a whole. It was like a male version of Sex in the City. 4 or 5 guys that really think way too much of themselves, walking around spouting how nobody does what they want, how horrible their life is. It's like you don't work, you live in luxury all the time, walk around drinking coffee in either Los Angeles or LA. It's like the guys on Friends. Did they ever work?
Yeah, Ross was a.
But he was never at work. The only one who actually
Chandler
would
worked in
show
an
up after work.
office.
What?
Chandler worked in an office.
And he was the only one who would show up after work at the Central Perk.
Well, we would see Monica at the restaurant sometimes.
True.
And when Rachel started working for
Central Perk.
Yeah,
well, no,
and then
she
worked for
started
the
working in the
fashion
fashion industry. She had some plots that involved her being at the office and
Because
stuff.
that happens.
And Phoebe was a
Phoebe was a taxi
Masseuse.
driver.
taxi driver, and
The relaxi
No,
cab.
she was a masseuse.
Yeah, she drove the relaxi cab. I remember
Just
that.
a weird name.
So,
When Joey was an actor.
Joey was an actor. Quick, tie this baloney to it.
Joey doesn't share food.
How you doing?
So how about those things coming out about Discovery, huh? Finally, we got some
Looking
news.
forward to that now.
I honestly haven't been paying a whole hell of a lot of attention to that.
We got uniforms. We got a good look at the ship. They
Got
have
a good look at the
white-
new weapons.
Yeah, the phaser looks pretty cool.
I do like
yes, the phaser looks good.
Down
The
Frakes
tricorder
section,
reveal
showed that
didn't
picture.
reveal anything. What?
So Jonathan Frakes showed the phaser.
I don't. Have they revealed the tricorder yet?
Yeah,
There was a
it
video that
looks
supposed to be
straight up
revealed it,
like
but it-
the-
Oh, okay. I didn't see that.
You're not missing much. It looks straight up like the one from DLS.
I'm still having a hard time with the uniforms, though.
I don't know. I would treat it as the uniforms are kind of in between Enterprise and leading towards what we see in the original series.
I do like the white medical uniforms.
Yes, that
I
looks
just want to
so
know why
good.
they're wearing the Delta.
Because there is a memo from 1967 from Gene Roddenberry and Justman. What's his name, Justman?
Robert just.
Thank you. That went around saying that from here on out, because of such and such, all Starfleet uniforms must have the Delta chevron on it. Must have it. Everything else has been, they were mistakes. They were mistakes done in costuming. It was never meant that all the different ships would have separate logos from Roddenberry himself in a memo to the entire staff, which is why from season 2 on, everybody in a uniform, save for one episode, had the Delta on their shirt.
Well, the Defiant had a different one, and the Constellation had a different one.
Were those season 1 or season 2?
Two, I think.
There was a memo. I have to look it up. It's out there. You can find it. You can Google it. I know there are images of it, of the memo that Roddenberry put out there as to the costuming problems and that the uniform was wrong, the insignias were wrong, and it wasn't meant to be. That all the uniforms, that
right.
was the Starfleet logo.
That was basically a little message to Bill Teese. Knock that crap off.
Yes. But it's either there. I mean, everybody's like, well, canon says this and canon says that. Saw a long, drawn-out thing on one of the Discovery pages on Facebook about how they're still arguing that it doesn't look like the 1960s. I'm like, it's because do you really want to watch a high-definition show with cardboard sets? I love the fan films that are out there. They are extremely great, and they're in high definition. But it still looks like a 1960s set. Yeah, but technology that is so outdated, it's not funny.
Entirely outdated, and the thing is, that's just a stylistic point of view. And the thing is, you look at what they did with Trials and Tribulations, and with In a Mirror Darkly, and all of that worked out just fine, and it looked.
But
cool.
It made no sense, Jim, from a standpoint when you're sitting there on an Enterprise that's got touchscreen, flat panel stuff. Wherever the only buttons are little tiny buttons on the sides of your consoles, and there's no flips and switches and dials and stuff. And then they get onto the Defiant, and he's like, I've never seen technology. I'm like, dude, it is literally a toggle switch in front of you. There are 3 of them that run the entire ship, and you're telling me you've never seen technology like a toggle switch?
Actually, that you could argue that he hasn't.
Okay, but he says it's so far advanced.
Well, he may think it's advanced.
Okay.
I mean, think about it. If we were suddenly given, let's say, what was a good example? If we were suddenly shown like an old, one of the early prototype cars or something like that, we're going to have pretty much no idea
how to start it.
Worked. How to start at anything. Like,
but again,
and if you take somebody has no familiarity to speak of, they may think it's really advanced.
Okay, but the man's an engineer.
Well, it was also the Mirror Universe version. I don't know if he was an engineer.
Understood. But I have no problem with updating it, and the headcanon that involves is I have to think past what I see on screen and pretend that what they're doing is much more advanced than what I've got. Even the Next Generation and all the way up through Voyager, it's dated. Looking at the technology they use, it's dated.
Well, you gotta keep in mind too, they pushed our technology to get to that point.
Yes. They did. That's not to say I don't love it. I really do love the aesthetics of the old show. I just don't think it works in a show in 2017.
Yeah, but when you're doing a show that is about that time period, why is it so terrible to use that technology?
Okay, but here we go. We've seen the phaser, and the phaser looks like the technology from back then, just tweaked. Okay?
Yeah.
We've seen the tricorder. The only ship we've seen is this Shenzhou or whatever it is, and they will not tell you where the Shenzhou's from or when. A lot of people are complaining, well, it looks too advanced. We have yet to see the Discovery inside. That ship could be it could be a time ship, it could be something that we are having, because the uniforms we're seeing is everything from the Shenzhou.
Have we actually seen Discovery?
We've seen the outside.
No, Lorca wears that uniform too. That's the only thing we've seen in the Discovery is Lorca.
But we haven't seen the interior of the ship. So, again, I'm going to wait and see. But, you know what? Were you upset that Enterprise looked far more advanced from TOS? It really did. The technology on the NX-01 looked far greater than the stuff that we saw on the original series.
They tried. They tried. I mean, they tried really hard to make it not look terribly advanced, which, well, it's kind of hard to do with the budget that you got. Because the methods to make something not look more advanced than what was from the 60s, you would spend a lot just to make it not look that... You know what? You get what I'm saying, right?
Yes. I don't know. I don't mind an updating of the visual of the sets. I don't mind that. Now, if they start messing with storylines and things that was already put into play and things we know about, then I'll have an issue. Visual canon, I can deal with the changes. I can deal with updating, and I can deal with a soft reboot on things and say, okay, look at that. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I think I liked what I've seen so far from Discovery more than I did JJ Trek. And I really do like the bridge on the Enterprise in JJ's Trek without the lens flares.
It looks like most of the weird
It's too Apple to me.
insignias came from the end of season 2 of Star Trek.
I don't know. I gotta find that memo. It is out there. The memo is out there.
They didn't have very many of the other Starfleet ships show up in episode. In
They had
season 1.
They had Commodores and they had Admirals and they had a bunch of other. I mean, they did. They had other. I mean, what's his name? Garth of Ezar. Not Garth of Ezar. The other guy. The other guy that went nuts. What is it about Starfleet that makes their captains go crazy?
Oh, the guy.
Ronald
Mega
Tracy.
Glory.
Captain
Yes.
Ronald
That's
Tracy.
season 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And he had a different patch on his tunic as well. So
Yeah, he did, and that was
was-
towards the end of season 2.
Yeah,
Maybe
that's
that
all
was the
season
one
2
that caused
stuff.
the memo. I don't know. I have to go back and look at the
And
dates.
I believe in the Ultimate Computer, which was after Omega Glory, the captain, the captain and that of the other ship has a different insignia, I believe.
Maybe it is season 3 that he sent out the memo. I don't know. I just know the memo exists.
because
Either way.
there is a scene in Court Martial where Kirk goes into an officer's bar. And
Well, that's season 1, though, isn't it?
is that season 1? Are you sure?
Court Martial?
I believe so.
Well, anyway, he goes into an officer's club and talking to someone there, and the guy has the same chevron on his uniform that Kirk is talking to, that Kirk wears. So it's like
What the?
it's a mishmash.
But then again, TOS, there were times where it totally contradicted itself throughout this.
Oh yeah.
Well, and like he said, in Enterprise, the Defiant had its own patch.
True.
Pretty much all of the ships
Mirrored-
Yeah.
that you
mirrored
saw
darkly.
on TV had it.
And then the
Ships,
books
the
that came
stations.
afterwards, all the FASA books and all the captains or Mr. Scott's Guide to this and all that, they all had those patches in there and what they all looked like and what ship had what. And from there on out, every nerd and geek worth his salt was out screaming about canon. Just watch the show, guys, and if it sucks, don't watch it. Cancel your subscription.
Well, all those patches are now in Star Trek Online.
Yes.
So if you wanted to, you can have them. Although I don't use them myself. I like the Delta.
I think one of the biggest contradictions, even though I realized that there was a season or two between them. No, there was one season between. Relics was season 6, right? From Next Generation, or was that season 5?
Think it might be
Give me a
fine.
second.
I think
My
Relics.
brain hurts.
Relics was season 5.
Season
because,
6.
Was it season 6?
Yes.
And
Oh, really?
Reunification was season 6 as well.
I don't remember.
Okay. Well, Scotty has that line where, I bet Jim Kirk pulled her out of mothballs, and then he's there when Jim Kirk dies. I was like, that's a pretty big screw up, guys.
Well,
He was stuck in the transporter and it messed with his brain. Sad.
Well, I know in I don't remember what it was I read. It was one of the books or something. He basically, it's just something he says coming out. He's excited and a little disoriented or whatever.
Basically, they tried to retcon something that was a total mistake for...
You also have to remember Generations kind of...
I know, it did. There's a whole... I mean, Nemesis came after the Next Generation, and we saw Kirk with hair in the Next Generation as a young guy, and then he was bald. I was like, what? What, you shave your head? Picard, yes, but sorry, Picard.
Well, that was a clone, though. We don't know, and he was sick, remember?
No, there was a photograph of young Picard in an ensign's uniform
at the academy.
At the academy.
But he said that he shaved his head as a
I
prank.
do not remember that, but then again, I've only watched Nemesis twice, and I don't want to watch it anytime soon.
Yeah, apparently the story on that was that he shaved his head off. Woo! Wow. Shaved his hair off as a prank. And
we know he had hair when Crusher died.
Yes. Make it so.
Really bad hair.
It really was.
Shut up, Wesley.
And then Shinzon was also in the mines for years.
Yes. Oh, that whole story was just dreck. It had the one cool scene, and it's where the Enterprise rams the thing. Everything from there on out. And they couldn't even let Data go out in style. That's what bothered me, the biggest one. I was like, you know what? If you're going to kill him, have the balls to kill him and just kill him.
Yeah, that was weak.
Like, I mean, they did Star Wars, they killed Han Solo, and there ain't no coming back from that. He got stabbed and thrown off the thing.
And exploded.
And exploded.
He's gone.
He's a secret Jedi. He's just going to come back as a Force ghost.
Yeah. I mean, even Firefly. I mean, Wash. I know we joke about it all the time. I mean, they had the cojones to, like, you know what? You love this character, and
hey, somebody a physicist calculated out that he could have survived.
Nope.
What?
Nope.
How do you survive? That thing was huge, and it was through the center of his chest.
Not only that, but I'm pretty sure if it was impaling at a speed to pierce glass designed to withstand re-entry, just the impact damage would be enough to kill him.
That physicist is full of it. Which physicist was it? Was it Neil deGrasse Tyson? We know how much he loves his science.
And anyway, Harrison Ford's getting a little old to play that role.
He is. He's playing Indiana Jones again, though.
It belongs in a museum.
Get off my plane.
There's the link.
Get off my plane.
I'm not, Wolfie, I'm not yelling at you. I just
help me find my family. I can't find my family.
Wrong movie, Harris.
Your family's in another galaxy.
Okay, Harrison, this entire film, Indiana Jones is going to do nothing but crash airplanes.
Yeah, triggered.
Give me your
Doors
hand.
fall on him.
Give me your other hand, honey. I can't hold you.
Elsa, give me your hand. Get off my plane.
Oh, okay. No, I take that back. What he tried to figure out was, what if it was actually impossible for the spear to make it through the windows of Serenity, so like he could have his version of the story in his mind, Wash could live. And he tried to base it off of modern space shuttle window design and stuff.
I'm a
He
leaf in
did
the
do a lot of math with it, apparently.
I will say that was shocking. It was one of those. It was a shocking, just like, whoa!
It pissed me off.
Almost as shocking as a female Doctor Who.
Oh.
Nice segue, huh?
Honestly, I think people are getting bent out of
Well, here's the thing. I've been paying attention because I follow the official Doctor Who Facebook as well as a few Doctor Who fan books, even though I won't watch the show. Everybody's acting like everybody's pissed off, but if you look at the reaction counts, usually it's 1 out of 10 people who are upset.
I don't even get it, though. They've already established that gender is a non-issue with Time Lords.
I mean, when 10 was around, they literally created a daughter out of just his DNA.
My only issue is as long as they are doing this for the sake of the story itself and not doing it as what's the word I'm looking for?
Pandering.
Yes, as long as
Well-
there's no pandering involved.
Even in the 80s, people were wondering if there was going to be a female doctor.
And to be honest, it's time. I mean, not to say that it's an equality. No, it's just time. It's been old white dudes for a long time. We had 2 young ones. Everybody else was an old white guy.
The damn piss boys can go take a long walk off a short pier.
Well,
No.
I-
Here's my complaint. I was to say I have only one complaint with the new Doctor Who. She's not a ginger.
still not.
Why
If they don't say still not ginger, I'm going to be upset.
No, I mean I laughed. I was like, really?
Speaking of the doctor's daughter, she's finally coming back in, I believe, one of the audio. She's coming back either in the comic books, novels, or audio adventures. I can't remember which.
Doctor's wife.
Can you imagine if she had come back not only as a woman but also Hispanic? People would lose their crap. They would just freak out.
Now,
if
what's
they're
really
already
funny,
having a problem.
I have never, that I know of, met or seen a Hispanic person with an English accent. That I know of. I mean, I can't think of one off the bat. I mean, I probably have, and I'm just not putting 2 and 2 together. It's like okay, I've seen black men. I can't call them African Americans because they're not American.
Black.
African Europeans,
Just say black.
African
Just say
English,
black.
British, black. I have Idris Elba, who would have been an
Everybody
awesome
still wants
Doctor
him for
Who,
James
but that's
Bond.
neither here nor there.
Yes.
I would love him as James Bond.
He'd be
Oh my
amazing.
goodness, when I love
Jesus
him as
Christ,
James
Terry
Bond.
Lynn would frickin' die.
Oh, that would be. I mean, Idris Elba as Doctor Who or James Bond. I mean, the guy, I just want Idris Elba in everything. He needs to be in Star Wars. He's got to play Finn's
He can be
dad.
Lando's son.
No, let him play Finn's dad. Episode
Oh.
3, episode 9. Finn finds his dad.
Yeah.
Oh,
that would be
yes.
So cool.
But he doesn't even know it. The whole film, they find out at the end of the movie. He's like, "Wait, you?" And you find out his name is. I mean, you find his. I mean, all that cool stuff that could happen.
Let him be a grizzled, veteran who's been like fighting the First Order as like on like a guerrilla warfare sort of thing because they took his family.
I want my family back.
But he's been fighting since the original Civil War.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
But
See,
who's
that
gonna
kind of
get a new
stuff.
Ford Bronco.
I mean, come on, we've got Laura Dern in a Star Wars movie.
Tade.
We got what's his name?
I still want to know who his character is.
Benicio del Toro. DJ.
No, that is a code name they have given him, and they have said so.
Dark Jedi. DJ.
Disc jockey.
Literally did not think of that. How did I not think of that?
He's
You
a
fail.
Dark Jedi. He's also Bridger.
That link is for you, Adam.
Dark
You really think
Jedi.
that Ezra's gonna follow the dark side in the last season?
Yes.
Mm.
Dark
He's
Jedi.
already been tainted by it.
Tainted doesn't mean that that's permanent.
By
I
that
didn't
point,
say it was.
No, but it's
Tainted
still
Jedi.
stained.
Ooh.
what are the odds that he's just going to turn into a gray Jedi?
I think
No,
that's
'cause Luke-
gonna happen to Kanan.
Luke is
a
the
great
great.
Jedi.
Luke is a great Jedi.
Well, what are the
No,
different
I don't
factions? We have the
think-
Jay, the
Luke's
Greys, we have the
depressed right now.
Greens.
I don't think Luke is gonna be a gray Jedi because I think he realizes he is the last Jedi and thinks it needs to end with him, but thinks that something else needs to be around.
So wait. Going back to what Tank said. Tank, you said he's depressed, so he's a blue Jedi?
No, we're not doing the emotional spectrum here.
Oh, okay.
Besides, that's DC.
Well, at least he's not a Corellian. Then he'd be a green Jedi.
Oh.
That
He's
was
been
a
left out
literal
too
thing
long.
in the expanded
That
universe.
was a thing.
He could be a
He's
mauve
like-
Jedi.
Mauve.
Chartreuse Jedi.
He was green. He got left out too long.
Oh, did you see the little penguins?
porgies?
The porgs?
They're
Porgs?
penguins without beaks. You cannot tell me otherwise.
They're not penguins, they fly. They're puffins.
They lost their beaks to gain the ability to fly.
Headcanon accepted. I'm going with it. I'm
Sorry,
going with it.
it's Furby.
It's an excuse to sell merchandise.
I hope not.
Yep. That's
cute.
exactly what it is.
Why couldn't they just be the owls?
I think
The owls have been established in Star Wars canon since the Clone Wars.
series.
They need to be the little owls. We better see the owls. You know who I'd really like to see? If they're going to do this, they're going to tie it all together, and everything's connected, and it's all there. Ahsoka Tano needs to be an old lady somewhere in the new trilogy.
I think she's gonna bite it personally.
Well, did you see that thing from Filoni?
Which one?
The one where he had the interaction between her and Bindu?
Yes.
Yes. I did see that.
Yes,
You know
but
what?
keep in mind how much the Bindu talked in riddles.
Just to put a thing on this, how easily and how much of a non-issue a female Doctor Who is with this crowd is that we were able to talk about it, joke, and say how stupid it was that people are upset about it, and move on that quickly. Because it's a non-issue and we moved on
We're
that quickly.
actually nerds.
I think it's awesome. I actually, I was never a big fan of Capaldi, so.
It's like I was talking.
I
with
like Capaldi. I just thought he didn't get a lot of very good scripts.
I was talking with
You
Tate
should watch this
earlier
last season. It's amazing.
about how we seem to be one of the few people I think that are genuinely interested and curious where the changes are going to go for Discovery, as opposed to angry over it, and it's because we're actually Star Trek fans. We're fans of the idea of Star Trek, not the visuals of what Star Trek has always been.
I'm gonna throw out some ideas here that we've been throwing around on the server. Like ancient Klingons, of course, because of the sarcophagus ship. But I think that they're ancient Klingons from almost right after the Herc invasion.
I don't know. I
That would
thought
make
their
sense,
excuse was
especially
kind of
if
lame.
they were, especially if they're old Klingons that were taken by the Herc.
Yeah, and they did say, because if you look at those uniforms in that ship, that is ornate. That is super ornate. I think just because, I think it might be like a Klingon royal family or something equivalent to that.
Like
Possibly.
Maybe.
descendants of Kalis.
No,
Maybe.
because the descendants of Kalis are what we have now. Kalis beat the other houses.
No,
Well,
he killed Mo.
no, wasn't it Kalis's brother that he beat?
No, he also beat. There's. Oh God, what is the guy's name?
Molar.
It's like a Cain and Abel kind of story thing.
More or less.
And
No, but he fought his brother and brought him back to the path of honor, but he killed somebody else because he dipped his hair into the lava to make the first Batleth.
If you go by the Klingon legends.
Yeah, he cut his hair,
Folklores,
dipped
yes.
it in the Kreestok volcano, dipped it in a river, hardened it, and made.
it just shows you that Klingons are better than Jedi. They can get close to volcanoes and not get fried.
Those Klingons are the toughest.
Klingon Jedi would be awesome.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, we won't go into that. I've got that in the story, but we'll go into that.
We won't go into that.
No, he had a brother named Morath.
Okay, yeah, Molar is Molar is the attorney and dentist, isn't he?
Yes.
Molar, Molor, is who he beat.
Whale.
None of this stuff. I just got done replaying the Klingon story arc.
New costumes, new props. What else we
Oh,
got?
speaking of that, we actually got the new episode from Star Trek Online with J.G. Hertzler. Great episode.
Amazing.
I got to play it.
Yeah, I think these Klingons are probably part of Molar's group because Kalis defeated Molar and his forces, as well
Oh,
as
the
Fakiri.
The
The Fakiri.
yeah.
And I'm guessing drove them off the planet.
Well, the sarcophagus ship has a warp drive, right?
Don't know.
Yeah, we don't
Haven't
know.
seen the show.
If it doesn't, that will hold up. But if it does, that means it's after the Hurricane invasion. Klingons did not. They took warp drive from the Hurks.
Yeah, the Klingons basically. The reason the Klingons are as advanced as they are is because they stole it from the Hurk.
Tried to steal stuff from them.
Canon. It's a wonderful thing.
You know too much.
Speaking of upcoming things, apparently at Comic-Con, Spawn movie was officially announced.
I've already said my thoughts on that.
I like that. You have to say it on the air, though.
So apparently Todd McFarlane is going to be writing and directing the Spawn movie, which means he's going to get Neil Gaiman to write it, then he's going to take all the credit and refuse to pay him.
Wah, wah, wah. The other thing, though, and Roland was the one who pointed this out earlier, was apparently there's going to be a Darkwing Duck reboot. However, this is reported by CBR. I'm not buying it until it's official, because we've heard other things announced at Comic-Con that didn't happen.
No, the Darkwing Duck reboot they've talked about before, but they did apparently say in the DuckTales panel that Darkwing will be on DuckTales.
Darkwing Duck. Let's get dangerous.
So, yeah, there was much squeaking to be heard earlier.
Yeah, but at this point, it's like, not buying that there's going to be an actual reboot, remake, whatever, of Darkwing Duck until there's an official,
I don't know.
we're putting it out. Here it is.
If you're doing a Darkwing Duck comic or cartoon, and you're going to put it on Disney XD, which is the preteen to teenage Disney channel, where it's meant for older children and things like that, you got to go the Young Justice route with it.
Older children like us.
Speaking
Yes.
of
Speaking
that,
of-
we also have things for season 3 of Young Justice?
Outcasts.
Yeah, we saw artwork and everything, right?
Yeah.
Now, where is that going to show? Is that going to be Netflix? Is that going to be
I think it's
Cartoon Network?
Netflix.
Is it Netflix? So awesome. Now we
In
just
fact,
need
I'll look it up.
Futurama to come back again.
Oh, yeah. If since we're talking about DC, this was actually apparently at DC's booth, or is currently at DC's booth right now.
Opening the link right now.
Let's see, November 7th. Okay, so yeah, there is third season. It's going to be Young Justice Outsiders. Did say where they're going to have it.
So it's the
Get
Teen
stacked.
Titans fighting the Teen Titans.
Also getting static in that.
Yeah, they did. They're apparently Stack's going to be a part of that. The Teen Titans versus Teen Titans Go.
Note
That's
how
just not even
the
close
only
to a
ones
fair
that
fight.
Aren't, yeah, note how the only ones that aren't trying to kill each other are the Starfires.
And the bugs.
Silky?
Yeah, Silky's playing with the other Silky.
Now, I have to admit, my kids watch the Teen Titans Go a lot. It's been on some kind of marathon, I guess, and they're pretty funny.
It's grown on me, but mostly because the writers are aware of people's opinion of the show, so they just sneak all these
And they make fun. Yeah.
Yes,
jokes
there's-
into it.
There's a lot of whatever the word is.
Deprecation.
Damn it! Now I
Thank
can't
you.
say deprecating humor.
Yes,
There's
self-deprecating
also
humor.
literally an episode with Cyborg beating meat.
Yes. Isn't that the one where he sees what's her name without the cape for the first time?
No, I don't think so. It's I believe it's the one where he and Beast Boy are fighting over burritos and hamburgers.
I thought it was an issue with Raven takes her hood off.
I don't
cape
know.
off.
I can't remember.
I think it is too. It's probably one of the Lady Legolas episodes.
But again, I mean, I giggle, I laugh, they do stuff. The tongue-in-cheek, the way they introduce things here and there.
It's grown on me. And the whole thing of Batman and Gordon being a couple is kind of funny.
But it's ambiguously done. But it's not. It's just kind of, is it there? Is it really? Really? What? The one where they saved the Justice League from Darkseid was on today. They have to keep going back in time. And they keep dropping. I mean, it's pretty funny. It was a good episode.
Speaking of funny, we got, Rick and Morty coming, and I actually watched the the trailer for that or whatever, and there's some good lines in that. I can see why it's been well regarded. I didn't realize though it's been off the air since 2015. So does that mean it's actually been revived, or did they just forget?
No, it's just a lot of these Adult Swim shows take really long hiatuses.
Kind of like HBO stuff. What was it? There was like a 3 years between Sopranos seasons.
Well, look at Venture Brothers. I mean, there was like 3 or 4 years between two of the seasons at one point.
Pretty sure everyone thought Venture Brothers got canceled.
I'm not even sure it's canceled now.
I miss the Venture Brothers.
I think the only one that is officially off the air was Aqua Teen Hunger Force, right?
Yep, they're done.
Oh, and what was it? C-Lab 2021?
Well, that C-Lab ended years ago. I mean...
Which it's a bummer because of all of the Adult Swim shows, it was probably my favorite.
Yeah, C-Lab is the one that got me into Adult Swim.
Yeah, C-Lab was... it was consistently funny. It was... I mean, you laughed out loud at least 3 or 4 times per episode.
Because, I didn't really get Space Ghost Coast to Coast. I was a little too young for it. I went back later and found it funny. But at the time, I was just like, what the heck is this? But C-Lab, man, C-Lab was hilarious. I did not like Aqua Teen. I still find it kind of hit or miss at times.
Well, with the Rick and Morty...
funny.
With the Rick and Morty trailer, though, they had good lines already in it. It's like... Okay, I can see why people dig it. I mean, it'll take more than that to kill Rick and Morty. Bunch of monsters start coming up. Oh, that might do it. Run, Morty!
Tank, you do need to go back and watch Rick and Morty. It is hilarious.
Wait, are we talking about Pickle Rick?
I'm Pickle Rick!
I'm Pickle Rick! Yubba dub dub!
And I think that they are actually based on Marty and the Doc.
Yubba dub? Was it Rubba dub dub?
Wubba lubba dub dub.
Wubba lubba dub dub.
I just lost brain cells.
I'm Mr. Meeseeks.
Oh, best episode. Look at me.
We're all Meeseeks.
That and the dog episode was really good.
Oh my god!
You mean with Rob Paulson voicing what was the dog's name? Snuffles?
Yes.
Snowball.
Snowball, that's it.
I think one of the most messed up episodes, though, might be the one where Rick and Morty go into the battery and Summer's trapped in the car. The things that the car does. Oh my god.
Protect Summer.
I don't know. The giant Santa Claus was pretty good too.
Where are my testicles, Summer?
What was it? If the feet are on the East Coast and the head is on the West Coast, I'd hate to be in the Midwest right now. Giant naked Santa Claus.
Oh, don't forget the whole thing about the Szechuan sauce.
Oh yes. It's such a good show. It really is worth watching. Oh, what else we got before we head out of here? Anything?
Well, we got let's see, Valerian.
Marvel. Actually, I was going to say. I was going to say that Marvel's doing an actual series on Thrawn.
Yeah, they're going to
Yes,
put
they're
in comics.
adapting the Thrawn book into a comic series. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's what I wanted to just real quick. Remember,
Really?
we had talked we've talked about this a couple of times, the fact that now that it's all canon, the books, the comic books, everything is considered canon, which I'm sorry, but the comic books are not canon. I don't care what you say, but those stories are so far out there, they're not canon. The Darth Maul series just ended and contradicts the Darth Vader series. The Darth Vader series they have going now, the Emperor tells Darth Vader that he needs to kill a Jedi and take the crystal from his lightsaber to make his lightsaber. Yes, that is what he said, right?
Yeah, more or less. You got to make it bleed.
You have to make it bleed. Darth Maul has a lightsaber and kills a Padawan. It's his first Jedi kill. Yet he already has a lightsaber.
Well, yeah, that doesn't contradict it at all.
If it's his first Jedi kill, where did he get the crystals for his saber?
He didn't have to kill a Jedi to get it. In the case of Vader, because he's coming from Jedi, he needed to basically obliterate every aspect of his past life, and so to do that, and also to cement the fact that he's supposed to be a Barney badass, he needs to kill a Barney badass of a Jedi, which is not working out for him.
No, not at all. Either way.
That went very poorly.
The actual Star Wars books, no. They're just as bad as the original Marvel books. The stories are so far-fetched and just so outside of Star Wars. I mean, I'm waiting for them to reintroduce the Hoojibs.
Well, the Dr. Aphra books haven't been bad, although the Immortal Rur thing is a little,
Yeah, but it's like you kind of forget that these take place where they're supposed to take place between Star Wars and Empire, right?
More or less, yeah.
Yeah, and there's so much. It's like,
well, at least with the current regular Star Wars book and Dr. Aphra, that's supposed to take place between the A New Hope and Empire.
Yes.
Vader obviously is before that point.
Yes.
At least the current series.
Darth Maul, it was pre-Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
Both of them.
And they have done some before Force Awakens with Poe Dameron.
Yes, and those aren't too bad.
They haven't done anything beyond yet.
No. Again, just don't bring back the Hoojibs.
You're all going to want to kill me for this. What kind of exercise do lazy people do? Diddly squats.
It's almost as bad as the Norwegian Army or Norwegian Navy.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Why did that barcode on the side of the ship?
Norwegian Navy has barcodes on the sides of their ships. Why? Anybody want to field this one?
Scandinavian.
So they can Scandinavian.
Oh my god.
It gives me a headache.
Let's see, Comic-Con will end, and that's it, right? We're done with all the big conventions, aside from Star Trek, which I'm not expecting anything major to come out of Star Trek.
Does anything
That's when
major
they actually
ever
do things.
Does
I
anything
don't expect
major
anything to come out
ever?
of Star Trek. All the news drops.
I am expecting, they're gonna announce Star Trek Online's next big expansion. They're probably gonna drop a new trailer for Discovery.
Does anything ever come out of STLV?
Quite often, actually.
A whole lot of drunk fans?
And a couple of drunk actors, as we learned one time when we were on Trolls in Ecstasy.
Oh yes, Admiral Paris.
Admiral Paris, who was just wasted.
I wish we were kidding, Adam. I honestly wish we were.
No.
Let's see. We may or may not get news about Star Trek 4.
Well, they said the script isn't done.
Yeah, but at the same time, you never know when it comes from those films because it's not canon.
True.
So you never know who's lying and who's not.
Well, I did like the fact that Zachary Quinto said he'd be open to playing Spock on Discovery.
Yeah, I was cool with that too, because I'm cool with Spock, with Zachary Quinto playing Spock in the Prime universe as well, because he fits that role so well.
Yes, he
Yes.
does. Yes, he does.
And he looks
It's the
almost
same thing.
identical to a young Nimoy.
It's the same reason that I'd be okay with
This is
Chris Pine doing a young Kirk, because he also does the role pretty well.
Yeah, Pine's really got
However-
young Shatner down pretty good.
However, if there's anybody who needs to be playing any character from the original series they portray in the JJ-verse, it's Carl Urban.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But seeing as
The
they
amount
just-
of research and dedication that he has done for that role, like down to little details, like his insistence on where he wears the Starfleet Academy ring, because it was where DeForest Kelley wore his ring that he refused to take off, and it was part of his stipulations for being on the show that he didn't have to take off the ring.
Yeah, he always had a pinky ring.
It's for a family member, wasn't it?
I don't know off the top of my head. I just remember it was a thing.
I don't know.
Oh, it's definitely a thing, because I know whoever was playing McCoy on Star Trek New Voyages, James Cawley, had an exact duplicate of that ring, and he would make sure that whoever was playing McCoy would wear that ring on their pinky.
Let's see. Well, other new stuff. Yeah, we'll probably hear more about that.
We saw the Gifted trailer.
Can I gift that to somebody else, please?
There's stuff for Pacific Rim too.
That Pacific Rim trailer makes me think, because one, it says the new Jaeger, so it makes me think it's no longer a prequel, that it's a sequel.
It's always been a sequel.
It's a sequel.
I originally heard it was a prequel, but it's starting to make me think that now that they're basically going to use the Jaegers in this giant version of Robot Wars.
The Inhumans trailer dropped. I haven't watched it yet.
So essentially, it's gonna be Robot Jocks the remake.
Oh no.
No.
Only with GLaDOS.
I like Robot Jocks.
I
Get
vaguely
out.
remember it being a thing.
Well, it gave us Gary Graham.
Well, I have also read that Valerian is actually really, really good. So the only thing that shortens it from being great is, I guess, the main protagonist. Just they didn't quite nail it, at least for a few folks that I've read it from. But overall, it's still being very well regarded. So
See, I keep reading that it's gorgeous, but that like the actual plot is kind of hit or miss.
well, I tend to see it on Sunday, and at some point in time, I'm going to try to see Dunkirk.
I
Seeing
think
it tomorrow.
the point with Valerian is that's based off of French sci-fi, so a lot of American sci-fi audiences aren't really going to get that.
From some of the folks that I've read about it, they seem to have no problem picking up on it. So, I don't know. We'll see.
I think you're gonna like it if you were ever a fan of Heavy Metal magazine.
I don't know. Here's somebody from Forbes saying it's as empty as No Man's Sky.
Why are we reading any reviews from Forbes?
For real.
Oh, who cares what Forbes says?
But okay, as a gamer, damn.
Okay. DeForest Kelley wore the ring in remembrance of his mother, Clora, who died of cancer in 1957.
Wow, here's what the New York Times said. To say that Valerian is a science fiction epic doesn't quite do it justice. Imagine crushing a DVD of the Phantom Menace into a fine powder, tossing in some Adderall and ecstasy and a pinch of cayenne pepper, and snorting the resulting mixture while wearing a virtual reality helmet in a Las Vegas karaoke bar. Actually, that sounds like too much fun, but you get the idea.
Wow.
That's quite a.
That's
descriptor.
harsh.
And who's this from?
That
York.
was New York Times, but USA Today has a whole article of just collections of quotes about Valerian, about bad quotes about how bad Valerian is.
Well, keep him in my counsel until I see it.
Yep.
I mean, it was Adam Comfort that actually said it was good.
I want to see it just because it looks gorgeous, but I took it off my birthday list because of some of the reviews I read.
It was Adam and Comfort who actually said it was really, really good.
I don't often
that it came short with the characters.
I don't often put much stock in what the critics say. They're all frustrated actors anyway.
I've heard a lot of people don't like Dane DeHaan as Valerian.
Valerian, at least, that character, just from the trailers, I'm like, who cares about him? It's like, he has no presence.
Well, I know in the comic
next to
books,
him has much more presence.
I know in the comic books he's this big strapping guy, and Dane DeHaan is anything but.
Everything I've seen of the Valerian comic is he's not a big strapping guy.
But will he make a man out of you?
I will end you.
Let's get down to
Okay,
business.
if that's the case, we'll just have
Is it in your room or mine?
Again.
I know, mine's kind of messy right now.
I can't. A Mulan reference.
I refrain from comment.
But we've been going for 2 hours and 16 minutes. We gotta end this now.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit raw.
Oh, that's what that is.
You shouldn't sit on that particular device.
Wow.
You really aren't supposed to use a
Make it
Sybian for that
stop.
long.
Is that what that constant buzzing noise is?
Dude, if you've
Ladies
been
and
using your
gentlemen.
Sybian this whole time, you need to go to the hospital.
So,
Hanging out with his
just got to say
friend
this.
Benoit.
So,
I have to
I thought
say
it was
this.
quinoa.
Is that what you meant when you said a prolapse of judgment?
Okay, end it. End it now. End it now. Stop. The thoughts of someone mistaking Benoit with quinoa just scares me. No wonder you're hurting.
Chris Quinoa.
Pull the string.
Pull the string. Well, folks, on that disturbing visual,
You'll get it in the end. Trust me.
oh my god.
Oh, legs have been outward.
Actually, you know what we didn't talk about?
What?
But I imagine I'm the only one that saw. Is the Kingsman 2 trailer.
No,
have
we
not
can talk
seen that.
about that next week.
Yes, let's.
We'll definitely talk about that next week. We will talk in
Pull the string.
Oh my god.
Wrong string!
Stop.
Why do we even have that one?
Oh my god, now we've had 2 Disney references involved in this.
You act like you're complaining!
Well, you were. Okay.
Yep.
Oh,
Here
Adam, may I
lies the
just
Geek
say
EZ's
this?
family-friendly rating.
I'll just
Oh,
say-
That one?
make a man out of you.
So, Adam,
yes.
I just have this one thing to say.
No.
Actually, it's to the audience.
There wasn't any even just thought about it. Just like, no.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Friday night special.
Oh man.
I thought I could only get that in Vegas.
You have to pay extra for that though.
See, the puns are free. That's extra. That's what the
Oh.
Patreon's for.
This episode of the Geek EZ brought to you by Hugh Freeze. Oh wait, y'all don't follow sports, do you?
No. Try
This
not to.
episode of the Geek EZ brought to you by Adams Andorian Bridge Officer Hugh Jantana.
Yes.
This episode of the Geek EZ is brought to you by The Juice is Loose.
This
Sports
Geek
Well, he
EZ
has
is
been in
brought-
prison for 9 years.
I'm just.
This
This-
Geek EZ is
Brought to you by the Ford Bronco.
This
This
Geek
also-
EZ is brought to you by Bend Over.
Good night,
It's a
Actually,
different kind of ointment.
Did you actually see that image where they said, so Ford just released the new Ford Bronco, and O.J. Simpson's been released from prison. Coincidence?
I think not.
This episode of the Geek Easy has been brought to you by the new vegan lubricant quinoa jelly.
And again, I say, night, folks.
Good night.
This episode has been brought to you by our lack of decency.
Complete lack of decency.
We had it
Good
somewhere.
night, folks.
You know how hard it's going to be to go back into Trader Joe's now?
Well, if it's lasted longer than 4 hours, you should see a doctor.
Near impossible. See a doctor? I'm alerting the media.
Hey guys, look at
All
this.
right, just got a pea standing on my head.
Take a lesson from Charlie Sheen in Scary Movie 3.
I don't think I've ever seen Scary Movie 3.
It is
Shouldn't
3,
watch any
right? The
scary
War of the
movies.
Wolves one.
It might have been. We don't even have a title for this, but it's going to be something about how it just got out of hand.
Quinoa, that's definitely one of them.
I don't see how
Wow.
you can get out of hand when it's been wrecked for 4 hours.
I really feel bad for anybody that doesn't actually listen all the way to the end.
You mean when we just fall apart?
It always
We fall apart.
It always devolves. At
It
the
does.
end.
It
Why?
devolves so
every
quickly.
time.
And it's
time.
always Tade's fault when he's here.
You're welcome. Hey, I have not been here for weeks. I have to get mine in.
That'll
He's
teach you,
entitled
folks.
at this point.
That'll teach you folks. You have to listen. You have to take the whole thing, not just the tip.
You can't.
I don't know
go
whether I
out.
should love you for that comment or not.
Wow.
Like Kylo Ren's lightsaber.
We are so gonna get nasty letters if people actually listen all the way to the end, because we are a bunch of like disgusting men. We really are.
Yeah.
We're old.
You shouldn't even be doing a show.
I'm only a slightly disconcerting man.
Well, we'll be
And
back
are we
next
sure
week.
Tade's a man?
Sometimes.
You should call your show. You should call your show "Dirty and Nerdy."
Ooh, I like that.
Tune in next week for our new segment, Dirty and Nerdy.
Right. You know, time to put this thing.
It's a 3.5-minute segment on nothing but hentai.
Roland will lead this.
Why did everyone go Roland?
Have you ever met Roland?
Dear Lord, dude.
No, I haven't, but I've heard things.
He knows
Roland-
a lot of anime. That's all. I
Dabbling in watercolors.
Dabbling, all right.
Woof.
Time of death.
All right. Time of death right now. It's 2 hours 26 minutes. We'll be back next week to talk about the Inhumans, because we got a trailer that dropped. I'm gonna watch it, and we'll talk more about the whole Marvel television universe as we draw closer to the Defenders and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and all that stuff coming in or coming
There's
up.
gonna be a crossover.
Yes, we'll be back next week. We're sorry about that.
Yes, we are sorry. And I'm sure other stuff will appear out of Comic-Con that we will have to talk about. And
I really
on
think
that
we're gonna do a
note,
magic trick with thin air.
what? What magic trick with what?
We'll be back next week with. I forgot. What
Okay. I have other jokes I want to tell, but I'm not going to tell them on the air because I will definitely get nailed as one of those chauvinistic, misogynistic
But I'm
men.
Tish.
But
Dirty
Wait,
and
so you're a
Nerdy.
masseuse?
all right. I'm going to call it. That's it. We're done.
Do, 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 do.
You guys know what
Show's
to do
over.
right now. Show's over.
Go home.
Good night, folks.
Later.
Time of death 11:41.
Wheel of morality, turn, 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 is the lesson that we must learn.
Turn off this show.
Go to bed.
Good night, folks.
Do